Hi everyone, welcome to the Hall of Greats Spring 2019. The Hall of Greats is where the easy allies who have a lot of disagreements, we finally settle on which video games are the great video games. There's only, I think like 22 so far. What do we got? Less than 20.
A good number to research before we start a new
Good
episode
number
of
to
Hall of
research.
Greats. Yeah.
We have a few.
That's insane, though, that we've done that many.
16. We have 16. So how this works is each of us presents a game that we believe should be in the Hall of Greats. We give it a 5-minute presentation. After those 5 minutes, the rest of the Easy Allies have to do a cross-examination. We're playing Devil's Advocate.
Is the camera messed up? Everyone's freaking out.
Is it freezing again?
Everyone's freaking out.
Whoa.
Chat's freaking.
Why does it play so far back?
Freakers.
Freakers, dude.
Oh, you're right. You can see the top of the TV. You know what?
Freakers.
You freakers are right this time.
You know what?
The freakers today, the freakers are right.
You freakers are
Yeah,
right.
definite Umbrella Inc. vibe in Days Gone, which I'm always a fan of.
I think we were gonna say a definite Umbrella Inc.
So,
vibe
like-
in this room.
Is there an evil organization?
There's like a science organization.
I did see a helicopter in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some science shit.
Daniel Bloodwood is not here. He's on assignment. And he will not have a pick in this.
We have a controversy about this, everybody. Blood tried to slide in a pick without even making a video. Ian made a video. Bloodworth is just like, here, I'm just going to slide in my pick. If anybody votes for it, whatever. That is against the rules.
That's what we call...
You can't just slide in the pick, Blood.
No checks.
Because here's how that works. You have to give votes. You can't just take votes without giving votes. So I'm extremely against it. So as Damiani said, there will be a gap in our graphics where Bloodworth's pick would have been. If you're not going to make a presentation, nobody's voting for that game. Damiani, will you show us? I am curious what it was.
Wait,
or is it like strictly?
What if he wants to use it next time?
he might use it next time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just double check his.
Does it
right now?
Does it enter this Hall of Greats and get 0 votes? So therefore it's banned for a year.
Yeah.
He didn't know about that. He didn't know.
We're not coming up with rules.
We're punishing him for going to work.
And he brought Mega Man Legends. I know out then. Blood without playing us all.
He sent this
Master plan.
a while ago.
All right.
Like, I'm having to scroll back.
Oh, so he probably sent it before he knew he was going to be gone today. Okay.
Got it.
He made it on a lot.
And he just never updated.
Okay.
So it's really Damiani that screwed up.
Yeah.
Is it?
If anyone, it's Damiani.
Is it really?
No, dude.
You put the graphic into the list
Oh, I
without
thought he was
full
still doing
confirmation.
Damiani had all his bases covered. I love it.
On assignment.
I love it.
So, we do 5 minutes of cross-examination. You're about to hear us say some ugly things about great games. We were playing Devil's Advocate during those 5 minutes. Every game must earn their way into the Hall of Greats. You don't just get to waltz in. It has to be attacked for it to be accepted. After that, we're all going to do voting. We get 6 points worth of votes. We have a 3-point vote, a 2-point vote, and a 1-point vote. We give those to 3 different games, not our own. You cannot vote on your own game. At the end of the night, the 2 games with the most amount of votes are inducted into the Hall of Greats. If there's a tie, that goes to our patrons. There was a tie last time. It happens.
So fun.
To the wolves.
A lot of knees, Damiani. A lot of knees in the shot.
I know. But
Okay.
I thought everyone said I checked the shot. It looked good. I'm
Okay,
trying to fix
alright.
it for you.
Chad, do you like this? Is this the kind of...
Whoa,
Since we're
nice
trying-
moves. Like, you see me push it like that.
That's a gift.
He practiced that.
I like
That
it.
was slick.
It's a good shot.
That's a gift.
Oh boy, Chatteroony. Did I explain everything, Jones?
I think so.
At the end of the night, yeah, 2 games get in.
2 games get in. When we add up all the votes,
Yep.
and Damiani is not a part of this. He's wrangling this, so he does not himself, have an entry, and he will also be the one adding up the votes at the end.
Damiani has
You do have an entry. I'm sorry, but you will know before we do what the picks are at the end of the night.
It's just how it's got.
Because he's going to be
See
adding
his
them.
face? He's like,
Damiani has a pick.
Not me.
Here we did touch on a rule though. If your game gets 0 votes, it is banned from the Hall of Greats for a year. It may not even be presented for one full
Shame.
year.
But
Yeah.
there's no backdoor shady deals. We have
Oh
to
yeah,
add that, right?
alliances are gone. No more
Alliances are
alliances,
gone.
unfortunately.
And we have shuffled our cards beforehand, so we have a predetermined order
And
of
actually,
the allies that will go.
one more thing, let's not let it be a controversy when it happens. Bloodworth has ceded some of his time to Michael Damiani. Damiani will go over, but he's using Bloodworth minutes to do so.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The most valuable.
How do you get the Bloodworth minutes?
You gotta ask, man.
Could I
You
have some
gotta
Bloodworth
ask?
minutes?
I
It's
think
too
there's-
late.
I think there's still 2.5 Bloodworth minutes left if you
I
want some.
don't know.
I might
Yours,
actually need.
have to ask.
I may truly need one.
Yeah.
Okay. You want 1 minute of Bloodworth time?
I often go over. I was
want-
worried. I was worried
I want
about
30
getting
seconds of Bloodworth time.
If I get a minute, that'd be amazing.
Okay, all right.
Wait, let's split the pool.
I don't need it. You
I don't
guys
need it.
can have
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm
all
good.
you guys.
All right.
Good.
This is our new shady.
We're all just taking Bloodworth's time as straight.
New rules every Hall of Grades.
He comes in and he's like older somehow.
This time, I'll take his last 30 seconds.
Okay, so Jones, you want to draw who's going first?
I do.
Okay,
I'm very
but
excited. Oh,
oh, it sounded like a butt, dude.
no.
Okay, cool.
No.
But
I do.
it's Don Casanova.
Oh,
with his extra minute.
okay.
Oh my
So
gosh,
Don
I did
said
not know
he
that.
needed 2 assistants.
I need 2 assistants.
I will help him and me and Kyle. Okay.
Okay, so I need you on the front of the couch, please. Huber, you may have to move. I'm sorry.
Get away, Hubert.
2 assistants.
Here we
We're
go.
gonna get a magic trick.
Okay. Who's gonna sit where?
I will take the right side.
Back row glasses, bro.
I think you and I need to be next to each other, Brad. If I understand correctly.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
That may be.
Take the middle, or yeah, I guess take the middle.
And then Don here?
Yeah,
Okay.
because we have to
All
be
right,
next to
that'll
each other.
Okay.
Alright.
So I'll just do a
What?
Do not
real
start
quick
time.
explanation. Kyle, a reminder to keep that very stable. Do not
Okay.
tilt it.
Okay.
I can't remind you enough.
Okay.
Do not tilt it.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
When does the clock start?
Your water.
I think on his first word.
Okay.
I'm nervous now, dude. Like, am I gonna have to drink this?
Is this a bomb?
Yeah, this is
Here we go.
Grab this.
I would not put that in front of the. It's gonna be super.
Yeah, it's
crinkly
gonna.
on the mics.
Yeah, put it down there.
Yep, yep.
Okay. Cool. And where do you want me to sit? Here? Or
Yeah, that's your spot right
A
there.
little close to this.
Yeah.
Don, you already have my 3
And
votes.
remember, Don, they can't hear you till.
Yeah.
Ready?
Give me a thumbs up.
Cool.
This is crazy.
Hold on.
Does it smell like, huh?
It smells like sugar, dude. It smells. I want to eat it, man. What?
I'm gonna eat this.
Okay.
Okay.
You're hot now?
Testing.
Oh, do we have someone timing?
Yeah.
Cool. Jones is on the timer.
Thanks, John.
Someone will have to time me when I go, but I will time.
Gotcha.
Pay it forward.
Okay. You can hear me good?
I'm ready.
Everyone's good? You're
Yeah,
ready?
yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna keep it stable? You got the water,
Mike
Brad?
sounds good. Lob's
All right.
good, everybody?
Ready?
And I will let you know in 30 seconds if you would like it done.
What is it?
I
Oh,
will tell you
30-second warning.
when I have 30 seconds. Till 5 minutes or till...
5 minutes, I'll tell you when you have 30 seconds left.
Does he have the blood
Am I
work?
getting any Bloodworth time?
He gets 30 seconds of Bloodworth
So
time.
5:30.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me know actually when
necessary.
we're at 4:30, and
Yeah.
then I know I have enough.
Yeah, yeah. If you
Okay.
need Bloodworth time.
All right, here we go, everybody.
You
Ready?
ready?
Yep.
And go. Okay, hold still. These powders are volatile, Kyle. I have created a unique mixture of ingredients here, which will produce a specific color and effect, which will properly set the mood, and in doing so, will reveal my nomination tonight for the Easy A Hall of Greats. Brad, please begin filling the entire contents of that into here. Kyle, I want you to stare into my cauldron, and when it comes to you,
Okay.
what my pick is,
Hold on. I don't think we're on
say
cam.
it out loud.
I don't think we're on cam right now.
Say it out loud. Okay, there we are.
Okay.
That's okay, Damiani. We'll roll with it. Well, that's not exactly the color I was expecting. That's all. What? Stare into the cauldron. Come.
Okay, all
Oh,
right.
wait, hold on.
Wait, it's gonna top.
I'm
not filling it
Wait a second. This is supposed to be more than a gallon. Okay, we've had a couple things go wrong, but we will just mix this.
Well, you
Yeah.
had. You
I don't
started
know.
with a lot of
Is
sugar.
I've never made this before. Okay, this has not worked out how I intended.
We needed that.
Well, you can't even see in here. Okay, I gotta just reveal my pick. Damiani, play the video. Plan B. That was the wrong color. Why is it green? Okay, it's playing. Go ahead. And make it visible to everyone. That's
You want
okay.
visible now?
Yeah, that's
Faster,
fine.
Don,
Okay,
you're out of
we're
time,
running
Don.
out of time now. Yeah,
Faster.
you can skip forward like 20 seconds of the timeline if you want.
All right.
All right, here we go. So, I'm gonna open with a statement, okay? No other game in the water racing genre is on par with Wave Race 64 to this day, okay? Look, it's one of the pillars upon what the N64 was built on. One of the first games released, it was critical in fulfilling the promise of the N64 being a revolutionary bridge between the arcade and home. This was the Ultra 64. Blood could testify to this if he was here. Wave Race is the perfect arcade experience at home. 30 minutes of intense, nail-chewing gameplay, and you're done. repeat, and enjoy. Okay? The water, bright, colorful, 3D graphics, beautiful semi-transparent water, which visually holds up very well considering the console's notorious textures. The perfection of water physics have stood up to the test of time. Still, incredibly satisfying to glide over, bounce upon, skim across today. From gentle ripples to violent swells, somewhat random nature of the liquid ensures no two runs are ever identical. How are we doing, Jones? Give me a time check when you get a chance. The feeling in your body, the
3 minutes
fun
left.
of bouncing high in the air, executing acrobatic stunts, the joy of nosediving underwater to pass an obstacle or opponent, the excitement of having a tight group of racers breathing down your neck as you bear them down the finish line, intensity of holding tight as you race, full speed around a hairpin turn, handlebars vibrating as you hold on for all your life. One mistake, your craft catches the wrong angle, you'll be thrown into watery oblivion. The game is so effective in simulating the physical pleasures that jet skiing produces, and that is evidence of its superior programming. So, the music, all right? The music is important here. This is made up of energetic synths. It could accurately be described as a buoyant soundscape and a perfect complement to wet, bouncy gameplay. The announcer is ultra upbeat and positive, and he is in fact one of the most memorable video game characters from the era. In combination with the music, playing it is reminiscent of the 90s arcade experience often found when you stepped up to perhaps Sega GT or Daytona USA. Sega was the definition of what arcade racing was in the 90s. I think we'll all agree on that. Each stage is unique and whole in its concept. The level design consists of 8 courses, each a masterwork in their own design. They often evoke dominant emotions in the racer as they experience the levolution. From Sunset Bay, which encourages a rider to take risks and live life, seize the moment as it conjures the bittersweet melancholy of a sunset on the last day of summer vacation. Another example is Drake Lake, where are we at, Jones? Which demands
120 left.
fast thinking, incredible focus, but with each successful lap traversed, the thick fog lifts and your mind becomes crystal clear, as does the placid surface of the lake. Oh, I just remembered something. We were supposed to be dispensing this liquid. Shoot. All right, Brad, real quick, as fast as possible. A little bit in each cup, one to everyone. All right, the challenge. This game is a game of milliseconds, even if it's just a little bit. That's
We got
fine.
this thing.
Oh,
We got
okay.
faucet.
Just a small sip for everyone is enough. We got to move. All right, this is a game of milliseconds where you play to shave off micro fractions of time to beat your records. It's satisfying because the gameplay feels so good and the AI is challenging and fair, refusing to ever submit to cheap techniques like rubber banding. The competitor AI in this game still holds up as one of the most challenging and
30 seconds, Don,
realistic
30 seconds.
in racing. Today, racing AI in this game holds up. It's unbelievable. These factors lend to its limitless replayability. And one for me, please. Thank you. Replayability. This passes my desert island test, okay? What game would I want to be stuck on a desert island with that I have to play over and over forever? I invite all my allies around the world. Let's raise a glass, say cheers to the ever-living beauty that is Wave Race 64, an official nomination to the EZA Hall of Greats. Salud, huh?
E3 2019 Wave Race!
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's not
great.
bad.
That's not great.
Yeah!
Wait, Ray,
Yeah!
Wait, so what colors did you start with? Because
Okay.
it's yellow and green that makes blue.
Did you study the color wheel before this?
Yes, according to my research, I was supposed to put lemon lime and berry blue. They didn't have berry blue. But listen, no. So I got the closest thing. I got either mixed berry or blue raspberry.
Right.
So then I ran a quick little test, not using the right amounts of quantities, and I got it using mixed berry and lemon lime. I'm just not sure why this turned out green like that. That's bizarre.
Swamp water, dude.
You had me thinking you were bringing turtles or something. I thought it was the
that would have been sick.
Yeah.
All right.
Next
anyway,
time.
all right. I'm gonna disconnect.
No,
this
we
down
gotta do
now.
the Q&A
No,
now.
no,
Cross-examination.
You don't take it off till you're cross.
Yeah.
Well,
In that
Like-
case.
Keep going for seconds.
I'll settle in.
Jones, can we do 5 again?
Thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, sorry.
Bottoms up. All right. So what have we got?
All right.
Hold on,
So
hold
we
on,
gotta
hold on.
wait.
Oh, look, now it's a little clearer. You may be able to see.
Don.
No, we're not starting.
Actually, time
okay,
has
I'll
started, yeah.
Kyle,
Oh.
look. You can see it now.
What?
Look into the cauldron.
What does it say?
Wave race! Oh, that's so cool. Okay,
you.
we put a sticker on the bottom of the cauldron.
Wait.
I shouldn't. That was time.
Did we start?
That's blood worth minutes. Yeah, we gotta
Whoa.
reset. We gotta reset.
Okay,
this.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Don, tell me what you think about the unlockables in this game to kind of prolong. You know, there's eight courses, but kind of once you do that, what else is left to do?
Yeah.
You know, once you see all the courses.
Yeah, you see all the courses, you gradually go up to expert level, and the levolution not just happens per course, but when you go up to expert, you actually have a slightly hard, the waves, the conditions, everything changes to make it harder and harder. Obviously, you can then do a mirror, reverse at the end, which they do something very unique as well. They don't reverse any of the ramps or anything like that. So that adds to the challenge quite a bit, as you
What
can
about
imagine.
that secret character?
Riding the dolphin? Yeah, you can ride the dolphin.
I was fishing for that, Don.
So,
Thank you.
Don, the racing genre has a tough time. It's got a tough time, like in Game of the Year discussions. It's having a hard. There's no racing game coming close to Hall of Greats so far.
Yeah.
And I think that's because your actions are simple. They're limited. All you can do is race. All you can do is go in one direction. All you can do is win. You can go as fast as you can, and then that's really your entire interaction with the game.
Okay.
Is that true?
Well, I mean, racing, that's what it's built around. I mean, you could do plenty of other things if you wanted to. I mean, you could beat yourself and just, relax and enjoy the sights, I suppose. But that's sort of like, isn't that inherent to every genre? There's only a limited amount of things you're doing.
Not in Metal Gear Solid, one of our first inductees.
Can you wave race?
You cannot.
Thank you.
Is there a stunt mode in Wave Race 64?
Yeah, there's a stunt.
Okay, cool.
Stunt mode, time trials, you name it. Dolphin Park, playground.
Why
They've got it all.
64 over Blue Storm?
So 64, the level design really was better, and although some of the levolution stuff that happened in Blue Storm was cooler because it's more like of a spectacle, and big giant things happening, but and the control honestly is tighter in the original Wave Race than Blue Storm. It's just like Blue Storm was close, but it didn't quite really get there.
You mentioned the AI, like the epitome of this racing AI.
Yeah.
I would like a little bit more elaboration on that, because you mentioned that this is a game that you would take to a desert island.
Yeah.
So how does the AI evolve over time to keep you interested for such a long period? Like how does it play?
It's just so good because it never appears. I mean, it always feels essentially like you're racing real people because it'll randomly make mistakes or it'll randomly be absolutely perfect. It never does a thing of like, you can get huge leads if you're just perfect, if you're flawless, or you can be going down to the very end and like the results, because I play, you used to play the same track 10 times, and even if your run is super, super similar, the AI run is actually going to be slightly different, which is like mind-boggling how it'll do that. It'll sometimes beat you right down to the wire. Sometimes they'll make a bizarre mistake and crash right there. Sometimes you'll be like seconds ahead. And so it always feels like you're like really kind of racing real people. Satisfying.
Apologies if you did mention this, I don't remember, but can you talk to me about the music of Wave Race 64?
I mentioned the music. So the music is amazing, right? This is what it's known for. It's like all, I mean, it feels like the kind of loud, synth, upbeat arcade, with a lot of like,
He's
lot
stalling.
of treble.
He's stalling.
A lot of treble. A lot of treble in this. As you'd expect when you step up to an arcade racer.
All right.
Heavy on the trouble.
Yeah.
Don, you made a statement that I would like you to back up. You said the announcer was one of the greatest video game
thought I had-
characters of the era.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was outlandish.
I thought I had some other.
There are some pretty great video
Oh,
game
no.
characters of
I
the
said
era.
most memorable.
Okay. Why is it one of the most memorable video game characters of the era?
It's one of those, his voice, his just undying enthusiasm and his positivity. It wasn't easy to find that back then, and it sticks with you. Sometimes I'll still hear his voice today just echo, you're a great, right? Or if I do some mess up in life, be like, it's all right.
He says it's all right.
Yeah, he'd be like, hang in there, you know, and stuff like that.
So he has guided you in your own life.
The announcer's voice still comes to me, Ben, on a regular basis in my own life. It just echoes in my head out of nowhere. It's really amazing.
And that's time.
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
I thought I had something written about the music that I wanted to say.
Wow.
Jones, I think you might only have to label one side of the cans. Because Damiani will have a list of all the games on the side for the people at home.
Right.
So we're the only people who actually have to see which can is which.
Wow.
You don't think they like to see the name on the side?
As long as we say out loud, I think.
Yeah,
it'll
we
save
talk
you
about
time,
it.
man. It'll save you time.
I don't mind.
Okay, so Jones right now is labeling the
always
cans.
an
all about the
experience.
aesthetics.
That's why you haven't seen them.
That
Sorry,
was
yeah,
the
I'm
most experience
Yeah,
ever.
just when you were
Every time.
I told them you were basically off
I was so
camera,
nervous
but
on
then-
spilling water. That thing was filled to the
was-
top.
Like think about
Filling
the
up
the
green
layers
was
of the head. He
so
brings it
funny.
out. We have no idea what it is.
Yeah,
There's a couple under there. I'll take two. I'll spill it.
And then I didn't know there was gifts for all of us as well. Oh man,
Predetermined.
amazing.
No, we shuffle these.
Yes, Jed, I'm on the control.
Pull that card
Here,
down.
Don.
Wait,
Don.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Here
Oh, he's gonna be phoning in. Ian.
Yay!
Hey! Let's get him on the
Give
horn.
me a second.
Okay, Damiani's stalling.
Alright.
Don't we have spare blood time?
Alright, I'm gonna mute all of you so we can
Okay.
play it. Alright?
All right.
And you won't be on camera for this. So just
Got it.
one
Okay,
sec.
no reactions.
Alright, here
The Dark Souls remaster has all the hallmarks of a great. Number 1, it's a video game. Number 2, it's made by From Software. Number 3, it's got a rare blend of innovation, tight controls, intricate level design, and lore-based storytelling. Number 4, they fixed the frame rate in Blighttown. Can Street Fighter 2 claim that? Number 5, the music is good. Number 6, you don't have to order some dumb cat bird around. Take that, Street Fighter 2. Number 7, partial nudity. Number 8, secrets aplenty. Number 9, has spawned at least 4 YouTube channels dedicated to discussing its lore. Number 10, Ceaseless Discharge may have been inspired by the performance of Madeline Kahn in the 1985 movie Clue. Number 11, Clue itself was adapted from a board game of the same name. Number 12, you can play it on the Switch, which is probably the best console for playing in a courtroom. Number 13, that part when you realize you were above Firelink Shrine this whole time. Number 14, Ornstein. Number 15, the DLC is really, really good. Number 16, the weapon and armor variety is great and you can play it in many different ways. Number 17, Snuggly. Number 18, the good guys is the bad guys. Number 19, is everybody the bad guys? Nuance. Number 20, it respects the player. Number 21, it expects greatness from the player. Number 22, it teaches the player to be patient, tenacious, adaptable, and kind. Number 23, the innovative multiplayer mechanics such as messages and invasions. Number 24, hidden areas and optional bosses. Number 25, Sigmire of Katarina. Number 26, Sen's wacky old fortress. Number 27, Ulasil. Number 28, the giant blacksmith is so kind and loves to smith and just wants you to have nice things. Number 29, the experience points are your money. Number 30, graphics. Can your greats make these claims? Can other interactive forms of entertainment that merely claim to be video games compete with such a list of accomplishments? Do other standing greats have even half of these amazing features? Does Street Fighter 2 have Valley of Drakes? Valley of Drakes is basically just a shortcut, and Street Fighter 2 couldn't even manage that much. And it's already in the damn Hall of Greats. End the injustice. End the tyranny of not having Dark Souls remastered as one of the greats. Vote today. Vote with 3 werehogs. Follow your dreams and your hearts. Number 31, player agency. Number 32, fashion. Number 33, that feeling you get when you finally beat a boss you've been stuck on and you've really been trying and then you finally beat it. Number 34, that feeling you get when you finally beat a boss you've been stuck on and you've been trying and then you finally beat it and then you fall off a cliff before you use your souls and you die. Then a living tree kills you before you get back your souls and you lose 30,000 souls and you realize you're not even mad. Number 34, Framped. Number 35, Quelaag's sister. Number 36, the Dark Wood Grain Ring. Thank you.
All right. Deliberation starts now. Or cross-examination, rather. I think I like that video more than I like Dark Souls Remastered.
So what's the deal with Street Fighter 2?
I
Some
just
dicks.
thought
Just
kidding, I'm just kidding.
I'd just pick one, you know. Hey.
You certainly did pick one, though. That was a very specific pick. You didn't bring up other Hall of Greats. You kept returning to the Street Fighter.
Funnier that way.
That's true.
Ian, what do you think of the second half of the game, I would say, compared to the first?
I think it's good.
Okay.
I mean, what specifically do you mean? Like,
Just going from the structure, like the flow of going from, and eventually ended up in Orlando's a nice fluid thing, then kind of at the end, it's just go this way, branch this way, this way, this way, this way.
yeah, once you get the Lord Vessel, it is kind of just like you have to kill these 4 guys or whatever. I think it's okay because it kind of shakes things up a little bit. Like up to that point, you've been going through the maze, and now it's like, okay, you have a specific set of goals, you know. And I was actually talking about this with Ben earlier about like how Miyazaki says they want these games to be like a mountain, and he had a really good point where it's like beating old bosses as normal enemies really show you how amazing you are now. And so I think they do a cool job with that, like linking them in with that new area and stuff, Lost Izalith and stuff. Weakest area in the game, Lost Izalith, probably that lava part. But you know, I think it's
I got
good.
more. I can keep
Go
going.
ahead. Yeah, let's go for
Take
it.
it, Brian.
Tear it apart.
What do you think about bosses like the Bed of Chaos and the Moonlit Butterfly?
They never really bothered me, honestly. Like, I don't mind a puzzle boss. Like, yeah, Bed of Chaos is definitely weird compared to the other bosses, but it's kind of part of the Souls thing, you know? Like, there's the Storm King, what's he called, in Demons,
that's right.
and then there's the big tree thing in 3, and, like, they do that, you know? And Bed of Chaos is fun and exciting when you're not getting cheesed. Like, it's easy to get, like, just shitty
Right, sure.
deaths in that, but, like, I didn't hate it. I don't know.
Isn't there an area we always say that's like unfinished? Like they just ran out of time?
Lost Eyes.
That's lots.
Should we reward somebody running out of time with their great?
I think that's our perception that they ran out of time. I think maybe they wanted to do a bigger, wide open area with lava damage, and you need to. I don't know. I think they were just trying something different, and it like didn't pay off like maybe the greatest, but for me, like, From Software's pedigree and like the quality of games, like, I don't know. I don't feel like there's many other developers on their level, so I wouldn't hold it against them. But
How do you feel about fighting the Asylum Demon 3 times?
It doesn't bother me, I guess. Like, the second time he's harder, and then like it shows you how much you've grown, you know, or like. Well, because you're talking about Asylum Demon first fight, Asylum Demon later, and then Stray Demon, right? Yeah, like when you fight him later, you're like a super badass and it's fun. And yeah, it's optional, so you don't have to do it. Like mostly if you just want the Rusted Iron Ring, right? You have to
Two of
fight
them
Stray Demon.
are mandatory.
Stray Demon's optional, right?
The one below the Asylum is.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sometimes in Souls it feels like I get hamstrung to a specific weapon, and like I'll invest so much in that one, and then like I'll be like more than halfway through the game, and it's like, well, crap, I want to try something new, but it's like so underpowered. I don't have like the resources to do so. Is that bad game design, or is that just like forcing you purposefully into one or two specific weapons?
I've actually not had that problem, but I guess I don't. Like, usually I know the kinds of weapons I like, I guess, going in, so maybe that's part of it, but like, for me, like, every time I've switched to, like, I'll usually have like 2 or 3 weapons per Souls game, you know? And like, I'll max out one or get one mostly maxed out, find a better one, and then I'll have most of the stuff on hand to upgrade it already. Cool. That's been my experience, but I mean, other people who switch weapons more often and upgrade them, yeah, would probably run into that. Usually I go like for the katana and then go for it. Yeah, Uchi Katana in Dark Souls is my fave, but Lightning Uchi Katana. Yeah.
Anything remastered as that you missed in the original Dark Souls?
That
Anything
I
they
what?
fixed that you're like, you shouldn't have fixed that?
I liked the bad frame rate. No, I'm just kidding. No, I liked it. I don't know.
There's your time.
Nice.
The Street Fighter 2 had a bad frame rate.
Yeah. Street Fighter 2's frame rate is trash.
Oh yeah, I'm not actually back yet. I'm just here for like a couple of days, and then I have to go back.
Thank you for coming back.
Yay!
Okay, who's next?
You're a ghost.
Ben Moore?
Ben.
All right.
We got Benny.
I'll make Dark Souls.
I haven't seen your glasses. Look at you.
Yes. I can see chat.
Yeah, you remember this time.
I can see you so far away.
Wait, no, that one.
Seeing
This
it
one.
before you
Every
started.
word is so crisp.
Just be ready to turn on the TV.
Did you watch Avengers with that?
No.
Ben, like,
Oh yeah.
I didn't want
nice.
anything
And
messing
when-
with like my head when I was
when you
watching
give a
it.
thumbs up,
I was kind of see fine. It's a movie theater. Like your blurry vision. No, it's fine.
See will already be on here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Like,
gonna be off
but
right
dude,
now.
I've realized
TV's off.
that
Okay,
my
good.
vision
Okay.
isn't even
Let me
terrible.
set up 1 second.
It's just like small
Yeah.
print far away is like really the only thing I can't.
Before we get started, there will be spoilers in this presentation. Just to
Nice.
let chat know, just so everybody
I'm
is
leaving.
aware.
I'm
yeah,
leaving.
There will
I'm
be.
leaving.
I'm leaving right now,
I'll stay,
In
Ben.
this presentation.
You're not spoiling Naruto, dude.
I bring Naruto to the hologram
And a Ninja Storm.
instantly in. Boy, I really care about this one a lot. Okay.
Alright, as soon as you give me
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Actually, the only thing I will leave
Allow
for
me to
is
take the
Devil May
gloves
Cry.
off.
Yeah.
I will.
I will click play and Kyle will turn on the TV simultaneously.
will
with
leave.
thumbs up.
Okay.
And then I will switch over
Slam
to
the door on
seeing
your way
so
out.
chat will see it.
Okay.
It'll be pretty much simultaneously.
I'm nervous.
So when I give the thumbs up, you're gonna play the thing.
And it'll come up on the TV so they can see it,
Okay.
and I'll switch scenes so chat will see it. Just, I don't want them, they would see it right now if the TV was on, people on the couch.
Sure.
So just whenever you're ready.
All right. Is the timer ready?
Timer is.
Oh yeah, you want me to time now?
Yes. If you could.
Timekeeper.
Thank you.
Official time. Yeah.
Official time.
Feels right. It feels right.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Firing it up.
And chat, we're starting at the lowest volume for this video. Just type in chat if you need the volume louder for the video.
You don't even need to ask Damiani. Chat knows when to scream above
I want
volume.
them to know we're aware
Okay,
of it,
all
so they
right.
don't like.
Got you. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Okay. Final Fantasy IX is a game that means a lot to me. A lot. There are plenty of reasons for this. Some are a bit more superficial than others. I love the art style of the game. The squat look of the characters exaggerates them without losing a sense of relatability. And the environments, whether it's the solemn and beautiful Burmecia, the seedy Dark City Treno, or the sheer comfort of Alexandria, these are all places that immediately come to mind because they all feel so singular. Like many great RPGs, Final Fantasy IX is about traveling to a strange, fantastical place, each just a bit different than the last. I admire the art so much that as a kid, I would pore over the art book in awe at seeing how the world I adored came to life. I brought it with me on trips and stuff. There are many things about Final Fantasy IX that it nails for me, but the characters are by far its greatest aspect. There are a lot of characters I like in games, but there aren't too many that I can relate to on a significant level. I think that may be because so many characters in games are unshakable. They know exactly what they believe in, who they are, and what they want. There are a good number of exceptions to this, but the ultimate point is that the cast of Final Fantasy IX feels different to me. The biggest threat they all face is an existential one. It's about feeling like the entire world makes sense to everyone else, but it just doesn't to you. It's about building your entire identity around a single thing, only to have that thing vanish, and you, as a person, crumble instantly. A good example of this, and a character that doesn't quite get enough credit, is Freya. Freya is a proud knight who is traveling the world in search of a lover named Sir Fratley. Freya isn't much of a talker, but rather a soldier who is very committed to the task at hand. It's why these few glimpses we get behind that strong exterior are so important. They show just how deeply Freya cares about Fratley and how desperately she wants to find him. Well, she does eventually find Fratley, a good bit into the game. Yet rather than an overjoyed reunion, Fratley doesn't remember Freya at all, not a trace. All of this happens shortly after Freya's home, Burmecia, was invaded and destroyed. An attack that she can't help but feel guilty over, considering her role as a knight. Pretty much everything we know about Freya is built around the concept of her home and her lover remaining intact. Yet they both collapse into dust, destroying Freya's entire sense of self. There is no quick remedy for Freya, no short quest and it's all over. She has to grapple with the fact that her world has changed, and it isn't coming back anytime soon. Really, the only solace she can take is to lean on people, the other party members, who are just as fucked up as she is. To fight because they are fighting, to believe because they believe. And even though we're not knights or mages or whatever, I think all of us have had a moment like that. Something that hurts us so much that the only thing we can do is seek comfort in the people we care about because it feels like they're the only thing we have left, even if it feels like we're being a burden. It's easy for me to get so passionate and heated about Final Fantasy IX because a lot of it feels so true. There are many other characters worth highlighting and many other things worth talking about in general, but I just don't have the time to do that the way that I would like. The last thing I do want to touch on, and something that I always think is incredible when games pull it off, is the lengths Final Fantasy IX goes to blend its themes into the gameplay. The best example is with Garnet. Long story short, Garnet is a princess who runs away from home to see what the world is like outside of her sheltered existence. On her journey, she suddenly has to deal with the fact that her kingdom quickly becomes a power-hungry, conquering force, rapidly invading peaceful territories while she's away. Later on, her home of Alexandria, which she eventually becomes the queen of, gets largely destroyed. The guilt from the tragedy and her failure to protect her home makes her mute from stress. Seeing characters want to talk to her only for Garnet to be able to completely unable to respond is heartbreaking. The game takes it one step further by making Garnet so distraught that she will sometimes fail to act in combat, which can be crippling to you, the player. Her tragedy isn't something the game magically forgets about when it's time to fight. It's something both she and you as the player have to deal with. Ultimately, that is what makes Final Fantasy IX so remarkable. It's a game that always has its characters at the forefront, caring about them enough to see them struggle, and investing you enough that you're always, always rooting for them.
If we got extra time, I'll keep watching that.
6 seconds left.
Oh, okay, 6 seconds. All
It's
right.
good cutscene.
Also, my video was only 3 minutes and 30 seconds, so if other people need more time.
I can have some Ian minutes.
Ian minutes!
Nice.
Juicy.
Okay, I'll start timing at the first ask of a question.
Ben,
Yes.
a lot of progression is tied to the Chocobo hot and cold minigame.
Kyle, can I just say something really quick?
Yeah.
I was thinking of counter arguments, and I knew immediately Kyle was going to ask about Kocho Hot and Cold. That was the first thing that came into my mind. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it. Like, how do we reward a game with such a miserable minigame that's tied to world exploration?
So here is my response to that.
Yeah.
So I have to be honest, the side stuff and all the bonus things that you can do, not something that's super important to me in Final Fantasy IX, but it's totally something that is there and is worth talking about. It should be noted that that is entirely optional.
Mm-hmm.
To see this story, to see all this great stuff that I'm talking about, you don't have to gauge in that at all. But to me, like, it's really grindy. So you have this Chocobo hot and cold game where you have to lead this Chocobo around and try to guess the right spot to dig. That is very tedious, but the payoff is what it's all about. And so to get to Ozma, the optional boss, this big challenging thing, kind of the ultimate test of your skill as a player, you have to go through that. So it's kind of this mountain that you as a player get to choose if you go on, and you really have to struggle with. But at the end, it's ultimately worth it. There's also, from the Chocobo Hot and Cold, you get the Chocographs, which are really cool. And the reason that they're cool is it's a treasure hunt. So you'll do this Chocobo Hot and Cold minigame, you'll dig up these Chocographs, and they'll be like, hey, here's a picture, here's a clue, go find it out in the world. So it's a great way for you to go out in the world, go to places maybe you otherwise wouldn't, and there are a lot of optional encounters that you can get in along the way that are super fun and fit the spirit of adventure.
I'm really struggling here, Ben, but how do you feel about the combat being extremely slow whenever you get into it?
Yeah, so Brad, that was a complaint that people levied at the PlayStation 1 version of the game, and I never really saw it. Playing Final Fantasy IX on Switch again recently, I was like, oh damn, people were right, like combat's just really slow. Thankfully, in the updated versions of the game, you can now just hit a button and speed that sucker up. And so the updated versions of the game have fixed that problem, and it no longer feels as slow as it used to, which is great.
Are there a lot of random encounters?
Yeah, there are random encounters, yes.
Is that annoying at all? Or?
What I like about Final Fantasy IX is it would be annoying if I felt like you really had to grind. And it's not a super grind heavy game. I think as long as you can grind, and there are spots where maybe you'll definitely want to, but it's not something like you're doing all the time. I think if you're paying attention to equipment, if you're paying attention to skills, it's a pretty smooth going game. I consider Final Fantasy VII a pretty smooth going game, or Final Fantasy X. I think it's pretty much in line with that era of Final Fantasy. So I don't consider it a slog, no.
What is there to the battle system besides using your strongest attacks and healing when necessary?
Oh, there's a lot to the battle system, Kyle. There's so much, especially as you get later on. So there's a whole gear skill inheritance system where a lot of the abilities that you have are tied to the gear. And so if you have the gear on, you'll get those skills. And then if you have it on long enough, you'll inherit them. And so it leads to interesting decisions where it's like, okay, I can get better gear, but I lose all these skills. And so just from a character progression standpoint, you have to make that choice. You have to decide, this is what I want or that's what I want. I also think the trance system doesn't get enough credit. So what the trance system is in battle, all of your characters can fill up a bar and power up, and they'll get to be in this super powerful state. And so like Vivi, he can cast 2 black magic spells instead of 1 in the trance state. And it's amazing. It's super powerful. But what I like about trance, as opposed to other powered up states in JRPGs, is it's actually really rare. You don't trance that much, and it doesn't last that long, and it doesn't carry over from battle to battle. So if you trance and then the battle ends, it's not like you go into the next battle tranced. And so it's kind of like this rare situation where you're like, okay, I got to make the most of it. And it leads to some really exciting moments. And there are, to kind of go back to the gear and skill system, later on there are definitely fights that inflict some stuff on you that you're going to want the right skills for. And so it's something you need to pay attention to. It's not something...
Is there a cool visual effect when you're tranced?
There's the visual effects in general in Final Fantasy IX are pretty amazing. Even as a PS1 game, the way it pans the camera around for each attack, every spell, when you're trancing, it really makes you excited to do it. Yeah.
Question, Ben. It's been a while for me. How do you feel about Necron just coming out at the end?
I think it was okay, Brad, because to me it was every single character was kind of battling with their identity, and then Necron is just like, all right, things have to be this way, and then you as the party battling with that identity, you're like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. And so it's just kind of like this stand together moment that I really like.
I haven't heard the alarm on this phone.
Yes.
I apologize.
Dominic, I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
Me too.
Hide that.
Me too.
Hide that.
All right, restroom,
Oh,
bathroom
you can't
break.
see anything right now.
Okay,
Don't worry.
research break.
But
Research
just
break.
having the TV off will allow me to like bring up this.
Gotcha.
I didn't realize when I closed this thing if you saw one of the presentations.
I don't think anybody saw a thing.
I'm hopeful.
I didn't see a
Yeah,
I
damn
was up there for a
thing.
split
We didn't see a
second,
damn
so I
thing.
was
Didn't see
worried.
nothing.
We do need
Stream
to know.
didn't see it all.
We do need to know when to turn it on. We weren't sure during that
Oh
last.
no, I thought it was. It was when Ben
Bathroom
said
time.
started.
I didn't get a thumbs up. I was waiting
We
for
never
the
saw a
specific.
thumbs up.
I should have gone when he started talking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I assumed you turned it on when he started talking. I was
Halfway through, we were like,
Yeah.
go-
Sorry, I was waiting on Ben to do the thumbs up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So when he started talking, I just started playing. I was like,
Gotcha.
go.
Don's
It's
drank.
okay. Like, chat saw it immediately. So.
Don's green drank.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Don. What happened was I started playing your video as you started your presentation, and then chat's like, wait, he's making a drink, and I switched back, and I was like,
no,
Rex.
that made sense.
So they heard the music, and some
was
people
like
in chat
black.
knew what it was immediately.
Oh, I see.
black screen for a while. We were like, what's
Because
happening?
Don wanted it to be black until someone guessed it, and then I would fade in the video,
I see.
like the visual.
But then never watching us.
Good
look-
intentions.
Well,
Dylan.
no, it
Really
was a
good
miscommunication.
intentions.
Originally, I thought, it's
Got it.
cool.
I thought I was supposed to start the video when Don began the presentation, but he was going to cue me after he made the drink. That was the one.
Yeah, it was all good, Dominic. It was perfect how you skipped ahead. I mean, that
Yeah.
worked great. It was better
I was
than
glad the gameplay came up when you like started. I was
Yeah,
like,
that
there
was
we go.
cool. Thanks.
Ian, you been playing any games the last few weeks?
Beat Sekiro.
Beat Sekiro,
I've
that's
been
pretty
playing
cool.
Katana Zero. That's cool. I started SteamWorld Quest briefly. What else? That's about it. I can only play like for a couple hours a day. So,
Sure.
but yeah. Sekiro. Beat that.
Did you, when you beat Sekiro, do you remember your emotion?
Finally.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Like-
relate.
I like Sekiro a lot. I was mad when I was cutting the review. I was mad at you. I was like, how dare this not be a 10? And after finishing it, I was like, Brad was right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Brad was right.
Yeah.
That's how
I ain't
felt
throwing
with
out
Trials
tens.
Rising.
Yeah.
I was like mad at
Based off hype.
Damiani, and then when I got to level 56 or something, I was like, Damiani's so right.
Yeah. I would place it third in my
Trials
own
Rising.
pen.
Sure, yeah.
I was like, it should have gotten a
Yeah, I
higher
was thinking it's
score,
probably
and then when I
in
got
the top
to
3 somewhere.
Yeah.
grinded part, I was like,
If they just got rid of that part, that game would have been really good.
no, you were
I mean,
right, as
Talking
always.
shit about Sekiro.
In fairness,
No,
though, I
I'm
said I
talking
never
about
doubted you.
Talking truths about Sekiro, I love it.
Any Trials game is going to be at
It was
least
amazing.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That was this.
I feel like it was Ubisoft who forced that on them.
Oh yeah, but
unfortunately.
still, it was
Good
to
job.
their detriment.
Thanks, man.
I thought back of good times of me
Who's
playing
going
that game.
next?
Who is next?
We should figure that out.
I definitely care about that game a lot. This was
You
very
might-
investing.
It's a great game.
Uber.
Sorry.
I did see
What can I
Endgame.
criticize about this game?
You can see
Like
us
it's been a
talking
while.
Endgame.
And we have, I was back to back today. I did Dreams this morning, and then went into an Avengers spoiler mode. I did not go to the P.O. box today. I should have done that like this weekend or before.
Yeah, good.
So we didn't have anything in there last week, and I did not go today. So apologies.
Not, yeah, I'm not really on vacation. I'm not on a secret mission. I'll talk about it when I'm back. I just don't want to talk about it right now. But yeah, I'm only here for a couple of days, so I'm leaving again. Yeah.
We were working it this week.
Here for today.
We're
and
shooting tabletop.
Working it.
Tabletop tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. So there won't be a tabletop episode tomorrow, but we're shooting tabletop tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there'll be however many there'll be.
Yeah. That's right.
After that. Oh yeah, I could put that Dark Souls video on YouTube. I didn't even think about
Yeah, Ian recorded the podcast today. On the podcast.
it. On the podcast, yeah. I think I accidentally held on a close-up of Kyle while Ben was talking for maybe 10 seconds.
That's okay. That's
Shaking
how I
off the
want.
rust.
That's how I
Shaking
want.
off the rust.
Oh yeah, dude.
You need those expressions.
Yeah.
Those reactions. They're
Reactions.
precious.
Yeah, just like pissed.
Yeah, sorry about no Astronauts. There hasn't been time.
TV now.
Huh?
Huber, you're up, dude.
Just
Oh, okay.
leave a video.
Oh, we need Kyle still. Okay.
Now, Huber, I forget. You want none of us to be heard when when the video plays, or do you want the video muted and just hear you talking while the video's playing?
The video is muted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can turn on the television.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Good job, Ben. Glad you got that
Give me
job.
1 sec, Huber.
What's that?
Video.
This guy, Ben, he
Put
had
on
a job
that
interview,
mic.
and I wish him good luck, and he nailed
Oh,
it.
nice.
Last
Good job,
question, Huber. Do you want to be
Good job,
seen
too.
in the- do you want to
Thank
be
you.
seen with the video?
That resonated.
Yeah,
Good
the
job,
video
man.
is just background.
Okay, so give me one more sec.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I don't know if anything will beat
I appreciate the
drinks
worry.
handed
I'm
out, man. That's
okay.
amazing.
Alright, I gotta like think of strats like that, dude. Hang out.
Yeah.
And I'm not in jury duty.
Hand out like beers or
The
something.
courtroom-
Right.
the courtroom
By the
thing
time
was
this is over, you'll be drunk.
Man, if I've been on jury duty that whole time, I'd be so
Decision
depressed.
making ability. It's not a bad idea, man. Massive amount of alcohol.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me know, Damiani.
Team E's on. Is that a problem, Damiani?
Nope.
No.
He wanted it.
Okay.
I'm not sure now. I'm an idiot.
No, you're not.
I resized
No,
the-
you're not.
I have done
I
jury duty.
resized the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
Smarter than Street Fighter 2.
There we go. Now I feel better. I was really scared for a second. Okay, Huber, whenever you are ready, I will be ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, wait. All right, ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Okay. When I think of video games and what video games do, why we play them, what are the main aspects of video games? What do 90% of video games have? Combat. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice may have the greatest combat mechanics of all time. It is perfection. This is a game where not one death that I experienced was random. Every single death was my fault. This is a game where you are in total control. And From Software, Easy Allies loves From Software. We love them. And we've got the nostalgia for Demon Souls, for Dark Souls. I've had so many conversations with Brad. Every time I'm like, man, I love Demon Souls. And he's always just like, it's good, but have you played it lately? Like, I think when time passes, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice will be heralded as From Software's masterpiece. So when I think of games, I think of combat. And This is the best combat From Software has ever done by far. I think of secrets, I think of exploration, and I think of world building. And that is such a big part of why we play video games. We want to be excited. We want to explore. We want that sense of discovery. We want to feel freaking rewarded. Time and time again, we play these huge new releases. We play all these games, and it ends up just being for the fucking dopamine rush. That's it. It's like just give me my XP, let my trophies pop, let me get my radio towers. Okay, move on to the next game. It's like things that are hard are usually worth doing, and that is Sekiro. You can stealth in this game. There's so many ways to engage, so many encounters. I've watched videos of people fighting enemies, and we all have our little different nuances, you know? People can stealth through sections, the way you can interact with the environment and the enemies. And, you know, depending on what trick weapons you use, it encourages experimentation. It encourages patience, which I think is something so big, not like bigger than video games right now. Just like be patient. Take your time to enjoy things. You know, like there's just so many things competing for our time, and without a doubt, in the last like easy 5 years, I haven't been so willing and so rewarded for giving my time to a video game than Sekiro. Like, without a doubt. This was a game, now it's very challenging of course, but it was a game where there were times when I didn't think I'd be able to beat it. And, you know, I had beaten Bloodborne, all the Dark Souls games, pretty much no problem at that point because we were so, like, tuned in on Dark Souls. And multiple times this game gave me the heebie-jeebies of like, man, maybe I actually just won't be able to finish this, and that's okay. But I just kept trying, perseverance, and like I feel like Brad's joke too. Like when you play Dark Souls, you level up in life. Like I actually feel like I've come out of the other end, and I now look at all video games differently. Not saying that like games are worse because of this, but it's made me see and appreciate the craft in ways that I usually just pass over. You know, everything in this game matters. Every decision, like art, right? You're supposed to ask like why? Why this? Why did you make this choice when you put in said mechanic? And I can do that with Sekiro. Like, ask any question about why they did something, and it all makes sense. All the bosses are amazing. I think, again, I think of combat, I think of level design, I think of secrets and exploration, and I think of bosses, one of the staples of all video games. Look up video games in the dictionary, and the bosses should be mentioned right alongside that definition, because that is the best bosses From Software's ever done, maybe the best bosses in video game history. Straight up. Don't at me. Let's go. Woo, not too soon.
Dude, that was
Not
spicy.
So we have a rule for the cross-examination. If somebody ends with "don't at me," there's no cross-examination.
Okay.
You can't add me.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Did Bloodworth do that?
Next.
We do have one rule that is serious that I want to bring up, is that you can't compare games that are not yet in that somebody else is nominating. So we cannot compare it to Dark Souls.
Got it.
That would be against the rules. I think Bloodborne's
You
in.
can
We can
compare it
compare
to
to
Bloodborne.
Got it.
Yeah.
But we cannot
because
compare
it
this-
would be like
Sure.
tearing down a game.
Yeah.
That's, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
You didn't? No. I mean in the Q&A.
In the Q&A.
In the cross-examination.
Okay.
who's going first?
Oh,
okay.
Jones is ready to go.
Go for it, Jones.
You talk a lot about emotion and satisfaction, and I have to wonder, you know, you and I have had many, many discussions about that dopamine rush, about the satisfaction of like achieving something in a game. I'm worried, not only because obviously it's very soon following the release of this game, but like, are there physical chemicals rushing through your body right now that might be influencing your decision making,
Ooh,
as
that's
opposed
unfair.
to like
That's unfair.
a more calculated analysis that have taken you months or years to kind of look back on a project and
You're afraid of
reevaluate
dopamine.
it in many different instances.
I knew right away that this game was special. I don't need to look through my nostalgia glasses to a 10-year-old game because I grew up with it. Like, when you know, you know. Like, I don't understand this needing to wait for a game to be good. Like, games are better than they've ever been. Games now, I'm sorry, are better than games back then. Like, it is subjective, but I truly believe that the video game industry is by far better than it's ever been. And to me, Sekiro is the culmination of all of the problems that people had with Souls or Bloodborne, and Demon Souls, all that, like leading up to this exact moment where everything came together flawlessly.
Did you ever have problems with the camera? Like
Never.
in Harada Estate Boss Arena, the camera killed me like 4 times.
Never.
Huh. Maybe that was just me.
Counter.
Never a problem for him. I guess it's a problem I had.
Hubert, how do you feel about them using the same
Jozu 3 times.
4 times, I believe. 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I know he's not a big boy boss. He's a little mini boss.
Is it actually the same character?
Two
or is it like
two encounters with the same character.
One of them's fire. But
yeah, well, I mean that's
same
classic.
exact moveset.
That's classic video game stuff. Super Mario does that. Mario is like one of the greatest games of all time. You fight very similar enemies throughout Mario. So to me, that's just some classic video game tropes that you know, are still around.
Hubert, we talked about it in the spoiler mode, but I think one of my biggest criticisms is the combat arts, where some trees would be really exciting to go down, and I felt like things were really useful, and then other things just weren't, and so it was kind of all over the place, and it made the process of getting those arts and getting those skills kind of feel anticlimactic sometimes. There were things that I would be looking forward to that just didn't quite pan out or weren't as useful to me as I was hoping they were going to be. What was your experience?
For sure, if I had to point to something that maybe wasn't like fleshed out perfectly, that would be it. I think because I maybe went for like the passive skills, it didn't affect me as much, but I can understand that if you like had your sights on a skill and it wasn't good, then yeah, I would succeed or whatever, you know. I would concede that point that, you know, maybe
There are 3 ninjas
but I still
in the game.
yeah, but I still feel like the combat arts weren't like they're good, but they're not like 100% required.
How do you feel about, like, I'll kind of bandy the criticism of Dark Souls that you had back at you. Like, I know it's a conscious choice to have one weapon, but this is a game that makes you play it its way. And, like, that's just how it is. And in Dark Souls and Bloodborne and the other ones, you can, you know, shake things up. You can try different things. You can change your weapons.
I disagree. I think Souls is all about just dodge roll. You just dodge roll that entire game.
Sure.
And this
Forward, left, yeah.
And this is parry, blocking, reducing your poise, moving. There's stealth areas where you can stealth through things. You can use your ninjutsus. And the weapon arts, I loved. When I played, I used all of them. Every single weapon, I was like swapping in and out for different circumstances, and I love that it encouraged me to not only perfect the core fighting, which is perfect in my eyes, but then you could also use those weapon arts and like the
What's your favorite
prosthetics.
What's your favorite combat art?
the puppeteer.
Hubert, really
That's
quickly, something you didn't touch on that is unique to Sekiro is the revive mechanic.
Yes.
How did you feel like that played into the game?
I really like the revive mechanic because the game is so punishing, but you are this like powerful person in this world, so it's only natural that you have some kind of advantage, just like bosses.
Ooh. Good job, Hubert.
Thank you.
Good stuff, Hubert.
Passionate.
Yeah, just in case one of the viewer bratters next.
The passion.
Such passion. All right, Hubert, who's next?
Pull it.
Bossman!
Okay.
Here we go.
All righty.
Right now?
I think Bossman stole my game.
TV's off.
I think it was Bossman.
One sec.
I bet it is then.
Yeah, I think it was you.
Now, can I get back? I bet it's
Yeah,
me.
it was you.
So someone had a game that Hubert wanted, but someone had already taken it.
Yeah.
Because we give our games to Damiani, like, whenever
Yep.
we give them to
And
him.
you snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
Snooze, you lose.
So I was like, all right.
You got sniped and brought in a game from 2 days ago.
He's gonna bring a game that hasn't come out yet.
Shenmue
Resident Evil 3 remake.
TV's off.
Listen, Cyberpunk 2077. I
You know it.
I know.
know it.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer. It looks great.
Try again.
There it is.
No, I clicked that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's working.
We're good. On?
Death Stranding.
Yeah, you can turn TV on.
That would be so funny.
I'd give it 3.
I would give it 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of it. It's part of the
Lobson?
game.
Okay.
Thumbs
don't
up,
actually
baby.
have it.
3 points.
You earned it, Kojima. Good trailers, dude.
Yeah, you just bring a trailer from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just tell me when to switch over presentation and you'll be good to go.
Let's switch over. Let's do that now.
Do we want to see Kyle at all?
I don't think so.
He'll clip part of his presentation.
Yeah, there's no good spots for the window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that, chat. You're gonna have to imagine my face.
I'm excited.
Ian's good on
I'm
time?
excited.
I'll start when you do.
Okay. I feel like with much of our discussions in Hall of Greats, we are Damiano, we're having
Click once.
technical issues.
Want me to click once?
Yeah, click once.
Okay,
There we go.
now I think you're good.
I want 10 blood worth seconds. We talk about what a game was, and I think it's also important to talk about what a game is, as Hubert was just discussing. Is just as important, if not more important. Game I'm bringing today is Super Mario Bros.
Oh!
That's Mario 3, no debate. That game was great. I think to earn your vote today, I have to convince you that this game is great. Therefore, my presentation, Super Mario Bros. 3, a modern day great. Now, we all know it's fun to hold down B, run as Mario. It's fun to jump as Mario, obviously. In this game, fun to slide as Mario. But a great game must not just be fun. We need more than that. We need a reason to run and jump and slide. We need incentives. And so that's what I want to talk about today. 3 incentives to play. First, we have saving the princess, rescue her. That was introduced in Super Mario Bros. 1, but expanded upon in Super Mario Bros. 3. After each castle, at the end of each world, you are rewarded with a letter from the princess that makes her more of a person. You're more attached to her. But I want you to look at something specific down there in the little right-hand corner. You see that? That is rare loot. Next thing I want to talk about is consumables. Now, Mario 1 introduced some power-ups, but in Mario 3, again, a huge expansion. You get these skins, I'll call them, that reward you with a cosmetic upgrade, unique abilities, and best of all, they will disappear after you take damage and be gone forever. That gives them value. You would not want these costumes to last forever. It would make them less fun somehow. And just as in Mario 1, the way you contain those mystery boxes within levels, once you pop that mystery box, it may contain a coin or it may contain one of our consumables. But what Mario 3 introduces is the world map. And in that world map, we have a running inventory. So we have other ways to obtain our consumables. We have games of memory and chance. Once you've reached a certain point threshold, a new Toad House will pop up in which you can flip cards over, not knowing which items are going to be under there. It's a great way, if you have a good memory, to earn some consumables. Also, there are randomized chests. On the world map, you will see Toad Houses that, once you go inside, you have an option of 3 chests to pop open. Any of those can contain a consumable that you don't even know. Best of all, there are some Toad Houses that you have to use a consumable to even get to. That, my friends, is value. Now, thirdly, I want to talk about extra lives. Extra lives are an incentive to play. Yes, they are. Look at that thing. That thing gives you so much more feeling than a red mushroom does, because that is a life. When you lose all your lives in Mario 3, you go back to the beginning of the world, you lose world progress. You do not lose your consumables. However, when you lose progress in the world, you've lost time. Time has value. The harder the game becomes, the more value extra lives have, because you're more likely to lose them. How do I obtain extra lives? Lots of ways. You have Toad's slot machine. Line up for the prizes and get a prize. You only get 1 try. End of level reward. There's a running element in the bottom right hand corner of the UI. You always know how many cards you have. As this running collection goes, if you collect 3 of the same card, you get lots of 1-ups. That memory and chance game is also a good way to get 1-ups. Rare item in the mystery box. Sometimes you'll luck upon a 1-up just playing a level. And finally, we have our in-game currency, which we call coins. coins. Once you collect 100 coins, or maybe US dollars, you get 1 extra life. So, saving the princess, consumables, extra lives, combined, these create incentive for the player to keep playing, and again, another Big Mac of game design. But really, everyone, what I want to talk about with Super Mario Bros. 3 is that, yes, these elements have nothing to do with Mario running and jumping and sliding, but they are there. They are there for our lizard's brains. They make us more engaged. And so I think Super Mario Bros. 3 can go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with any of the other greats when it comes to level design, when it comes to art design, when it comes to music, when it comes to character control. We know that. Sorry, I flipped ahead for a sec. We know that. But what Super Mario Bros. 3 does special is those nasty little tricks of game design that we don't even think about. Those are all present in Super Mario Bros. 3 in such an elegant way that we're never frustrated. We embrace them, and we don't even assume that there's any ill intent when there totally is. Miyamoto just wants us to keep playing. Thank you so much, and thanks to Spriter's Resource for Mario Sweet.
25 seconds left. Go.
Good job, Kyle.
Can I start us?
Oh, are we ready for
TV's
that
off.
part
Yeah,
of the
As soon as
presentation?
Huber goes.
TV's off right now.
Yeah.
All right, starting cross-examination as soon as Huber speaks.
Okay. So Kyle, you said what the game was, what the game is,
Yes.
referring to its state
Yes.
now. That was a big part of your presentation. Another big part of your presentation was lives, and this whole big thing about having lives. In World 1-2, you can get a raccoon suit and bounce on all of the Goombas that come out and get unlimited lives immediately. So,
Hubert, this is legit news to me.
Whoa.
However, here's the thing, though. That's World 1-2.
Yeah.
Those lives mean nothing to you at World 1-2. Who cares?
Yeah,
By
100
the time you're at the end of World 8, those lives mean more to you. The value
go
has
back and
grown.
farm 'em.
You can't. You can't go back. You can't
you
go
can't
back to World 1.
once? I forgot about that.
Kyle,
Yeah.
you said like getting a suit feels special when you haven't getting hit one time.
Yes.
This game hands out power-ups like candy, man. You get power-ups from everything in this game. You're always fully stocked. When you push that select button, that row is filled with power-ups.
Brad, what I'm going to say is that's filled because you chose not to use them. You're hoarding them because they have value.
I use
my
them.
friend.
I love the frog suit. I use them.
You don't use the. You wait for a water level to use a frog suit.
I
know
use a
it.
frog suit. Yeah, it looks cool.
there's not enough frog suits. It's like 4 in the whole game.
Yes, Don?
Kyle,
Yes.
other than your unfair dislike of Yoshi, what isn't better about Super Mario World or the same
Same
than
question.
Part 3?
Great.
Vibes.
So level 1 has more opportunities to. It's way short. It's like half the length. More opportunities for fun in Super Mario Bros. 3. I was looking at it, Don. What I had a serious presentation at one point. The coolest thing about like frame 1 of World 1, level 1, Don,
Yeah.
is that you're asked to jump backwards onto this obstacle. It's a bunch of like platforms that are stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
So Mario's hopping bop 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 bop. And immediately, Don, you're having a good time. That's fun. So there's a lot of opportunities for testing things out in Mario 3 that I don't think Mario World is about. I love the world design of Mario 3 more. Mario World, you're just on a weird island. You're on Yoshi's Island, and then there's a bunch of other weird islands that you don't care about. Here, you are saving the princess through kingdoms, man. You're going to castles.
Kyle,
Yeah.
so let's say I don't want to be involved in Toad's gotcha system. I'm a free-to-play player. Casually, and I'm not really falling for his tricks.
Yeah.
I'm not a whale. Is there any chance that I can still enjoy Mario Bros. 3 as a free-to-play player?
I mean, Ben, the problem is with human brains, we all love to throw the handle, the bandit's arm on a slot machine, and we all love to win. I don't believe you if you say you don't like it, man.
So you're saying that I'm lying?
I'm saying that you love those things. I'm saying, like, obviously you can walk over it, right? Yeah, all those things are super ignorable. You can totally just go past
It's
them.
just a joke.
How do you feel
Yeah.
about being a play?
I don't want to talk about this, but just so everybody knows the context of the situation, Shigeru Miyamoto, creator of Mario, but not necessarily the boss of everything, said in later years that this entire game is a play. It's obviously incorrect. He was obviously trying to entertain an interviewee. Yes. No, he's entertaining and
The scenery moves back.
but then that's it.
There's drop shadows, you know. It's like a set.
You go behind the set.
That's
You
it.
can get behind the white facades.
The end of every level, you go off the end of the background.
But then there's a world map. What play have you seen with a world map?
3.
Super Mario 3.
Program.
Lion in
program.
Winter has a world map.
Boss fights are super important, and the Koopa Kids are cool, but every boss plays basically the same. You're in a little room, and they're like shooting.
Here's what I think. Yeah, you are. They escalate. They do get harder. They get harder and harder. This boss, the next one has another little wrinkle onto it. The next one has another little wrinkle onto it.
The internet's gonna hate this question, but why can't the damn princess save her damn self?
At this point in her life, she's just not ready.
Alright.
Well, what about the flute? I mean, you just talk about reward. Like,
Yes, dude.
I would always skip, you know, and I was a little bratty kid who didn't understand the like achievement, but
Yeah.
like I would always skip. Like that was the way you played Super Mario Brothers 3. It's like you just get the flute, then get the next one.
We're definitely talking about the was here, Jones. So the great part of this aspect is if you pay to buy a Nintendo Power magazine, you will have access to secrets that otherwise there's no way you would have ever discovered.
Right.
So that's the kind of secret the flute is. Hold down for 5 seconds on a white block at the end of world or level 3? No way, dude. However, if you pay Nintendo money, if you put some money in their pockets, you have access to secrets that will allow you to skip worlds. Obviously today, as we talk about how the game is, it's just another option, man. If you don't want to play those levels, you don't have to. You can skip the stuff that you're not interested in.
I definitely found out of that just from friends, so that was definitely word of mouth. So
Time.
maybe I just like.
Oh, dummy, I need
Tom Andy had his hand up.
Oh, ready to go.
You got
raise
lucky,
hands,
dude.
just jump in.
Yeah, you gotta jump in, dude. You gotta go for the kill. Okay. I'll pull a person who's... Was it Mario 3? Is that the one you had?
Yeah, I was gonna pick on.
Great pick.
Now you know it has value.
It's got so much value.
It's got so much value.
So many world, dude. The big world, man.
It's Brad. Brad's
That's
up
me.
next.
Is that World 6? World 6 is the big
Oh, giant world?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Giant world, dude.
That one's going over here.
World 4. Oh, World 4.
That was very fun, Kyle.
Thanks.
Quite impressive.
Which
Good presentations this one.
which
Dang.
which year of
People put
SmackDown did you
time
run,
in
Brad?
this quarter.
Yeah.
whatever.
SmackDown.
Yeah, which one?
Mike's
What?
live whenever.
Okay. Is this on? Kyle?
Did you bring a recipe?
TV is not on yet.
I think I have to do the first.
Really?
though.
Okay.
So just tell me when you were gonna really tell me when you're gonna start. I'm
Oh, we
gonna
need to
set
turn the
the
TV
scene
down.
Okay.
live.
Did you bring
And
numbers?
Brad,
I want to do the
it's the
first
down
click,
button.
and you'll be good after that.
Oh, down's next.
Down is next. Yeah.
Okay.
So flip that around.
Okay.
I think you're holding it upside down.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Holding it upside down and then press down.
wow.
To
Oh, okay.
Ooh, baby.
All right, everybody. I'm ready, by the way.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna click.
No, I'll tell you when. I'll tell you
start
when.
I'll
Quick
start you.
presentation.
Okay, ready? Go. All right, everybody. The game I brought is part of a legendary franchise. Everyone's got their own pick, something they like about it. To me, they're like Beatles albums. They're all great, but there's a certain flavor you love maybe about an album more than another. For me, this game is a very special game to me. I really love this game. I'll never forget the day this game came out, and I played it that night. Magical experience for me. Dominic, go ahead and present it. My nomination is... Whoop. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Either the HD or the GameCube version, I don't care. I love both these versions. Not the Wii one because they flipped the world and that's just ridiculous. Figure it out, Nintendo. Let's talk about a little about Zelda. So Twilight Princess to me, what stands out about Twilight Princess to me is the story and its tone. It's a much darker tone. I know there's things in Majora's Mask that definitely have darker tones, especially like the masks and everything like that. Twilight Princess story itself is dark. Hyrule is taken over by the Twilight Realm. It's gone. People are in the Twilight Realm. Everything's spooky right now. They're all like weird ghosts. They talk about the history of the interlopers who try to take over the sacred realm and got eventually banished to the Twilight Realm by the gods. Ganondorf manipulating Zant from the Twilight Realm to take over the throne in Hyrule, and Midna herself getting turned into an imp who was supposed to be the ruler of the throne. I guess she got usurped. And just like events like the children getting kidnapped by the king, bubbling, all that stuff, getting tied up, having to track these kids down. All really dark stuff, and I think the art style really plays to this. The art style is also much more, probably the most realistic Zelda art style we've seen for Zelda, period, and I think it fits really well with the tone. If it was a serious art style with maybe a more lighthearted story, I don't think it would work as much. I think it works really good for a game like Wind Waker, even though Wind Waker has its moments of dark stuff. Characters in this world, man, they gave the characters a lot more time than I would say in a lot of the other Zelda games. We get to see a lot more of them. There's a lot more moments of the characters just like having growth and arcs, like Colin, who you start off with in your village. Really young, timid kid. He gets teased a lot, bullied, but he starts to get this courage after he gets kidnapped, saved by Link, to become a better person. He steps in, eventually saves the kid. He has growth as a character. Midna, probably the best companion character of any Zelda game ever made. This character starts off as really bitter, just really sassy to Link, treats him really bad, who slowly starts to come around to Link, starts to trust him. You see this trust built throughout the entire game. Telma and the Resistance at the bar, they're working at the bar with everyone trying to fight against the Twilight Realm, you interacting with everything. It's really awesome. The dungeons, man. Okay, Twilight Princess to me has some of the best presentation of dungeons ever in a Zelda game. The layouts themselves are pretty straightforward, but what it does is it gives you a really awesome set piece. I think every single dungeon in this game has really great theming, and the items you get to play to really well. The Forest Temple, man. Little unique little mechanic. The monkeys, you're rescuing the monkeys throughout the thing, then they start helping you. That's dope as hell. I want more of that. Goron Mines, man. When you're going in there, you got the iron boots, you're walking on ceilings and you're using it through the water. Awesome stuff. There's the part where you go outside, where I talk about right here, where you're inside the Goron Mines, the whole dungeon, and there's lava everywhere, and you get outside, and there's guys shooting at you, archer bows, there's water everywhere, just a nice contrast to the rest of it. Lake Bed Temple. Swimming is great in this game, like, trumps Ocarina of Time swimming. Like, I mean, it's pretty bad Ocarina of Time. You actually get to swim now with the Zora suit. It works well. The stair in the middle of the dungeon that kind of acts as the centerpiece, where you have to rotate it throughout the dungeon, having the waterfall go down is really genius. Arbiter's Ground, really cool backstory about execution. This is where Ganondorf was supposed to be executed by the sages, but he killed one and got sent to the Twilight Realm. Awesome stuff. Snow Peak Ruins. One I know Damiani likes when I did a level on it back in the day. Kind of reminds me of, oh shoot, Snow Peak Temple is dope. Reminds me of the Spencer Mansion, going through the house, the rooms and everything. Feels like I lived in space. The events between dungeons, this game gives you a nice thing, not necessarily going from dungeon to dungeon. You got a little events like the horseback fighting on the Bridge of Eldom, just 10 out of 10 Huber moment, protecting the carriage going through, turning to Hyrule Castle with Midna when she's injured, almost dying. The snow going through into the ruins, dope stuff in the Wild West town showdown where all the Sheikahs lived is incredible. Combat, some of the best Zelda combat ever, I would say, just slightly behind Breath of the Wild now. Learning moves to your ancestor is dope as hell. You got the down thrust, it's all awesome stuff. Fighting on horseback is well implemented. Wolf Link, people have problems with this, he's great, but they don't overuse it. He has a unique moveset that makes him stand apart from normal Link. Feels fresh and unique. I like finding the Tears of Light. Takes you to the area. Talking to other animals is sick. Tracking sense, digging holes is really jolly. Awesome side activities, bug collecting, best fishing in every Zelda game, Poe hunting. Dude, Roll Goal is the best. I love Roll Goal, I won't hear it. And Twilight Princess is
Time.
What
is it?
Blood time! We gotta have some blood time somewhere.
Yeah, wait. Don't we have the blood and Ian time?
Take 30 seconds of Ian time.
Go.
Oh my god, Twilight Princess is a phenomenal game. It gave people what they wanted after Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Wind Waker's great, but Twilight Princess brought it back to what people really wanted. Epic world, huge story, big scope, best Ganon fight of all time. If any Zelda game is the best final showdown of all time.
Okay. Great. We got Slack going here.
That's Slack.
Oh, okay.
They see everything.
They see everything.
Thanks for that final second. I forgot about how sick that
Yeah,
game
you
was.
guys.
You ready?
Damiani's ready. Let's go, Damiani. I knew I'd have to answer to you. Let's go, dude.
Damiani has become Wolf Damiani, ready to go for the throat.
All right. Let me know I'm starting time.
I'll start timer when you start time.
So I will give you this, Brad. Dungeons, yes. Love that about it. There's three things I need to ask you about.
Yes.
So you talked about the Ganon fight being amazing.
Yes.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay.
However, that was one of the worst character assassinations I've ever seen in a video game in terms of what Ganondorf did to Zant as the main villain. Ganondorf comes out of nowhere, becomes the ultimate threat, and ruins a character in Zant who was built up to be this awesome new villain, and it's basically character suicide. He acts like a clown in the end, and then Ganondorf is just shoehorned in for fan service.
Let me rebuttal that real quick, Damiani. So we are introduced to Ganondorf at Arbiter's Grounds, which is the fourth temple in the whole game. Right there, we know Ganondorf is a big bad guy thrown into the Twilight Realm. Then Zant comes out after we learn that Ganondorf is the one manipulating it through it all. He's the one controlling Zant. Zant is just a little scrub who was given some power by Ganondorf once he got the throne. He's actually a chump. Ganondorf is the real puppet master.
Do you think that being revealed at the end in the way it was after being strung along the whole way to believe Zant was like powered by himself was a good reveal and a good twist?
I think it's like when they showed Ganondorf, they showed him for a reason. And I think it's pretty well known. Like once you see Ganondorf in the game, he is not here just for that simple backstory approach.
So, Brad, Ocarina of Time is the one that gets all the love. It gets all the awards.
It's a great.
Yes.
It's a great. It gets all
great.
the love and
really
the hype. Why does it always get the love and hype over Twilight Princess?
That was gonna be like my second.
Because I think what Ocarina of Time. Oh shoot, my mic.
It doesn't necessarily have to be better, by the way.
Okay.
Just keep going.
I think what helps with Ocarina of Time is it was the first 3D Zelda, and it did it so well. I think it surpassed every single person's expectations, and it blew us all away at the time. Twilight Princess is not the first 3D Zelda game. It's not the first of that. What Twilight Princess, I think, just does is takes the formula built by Ocarina of Time and just changes and improves it, in my opinion.
Is Midna's and is the story too sad?
In a bittersweet way. It's very sad. You're sad to see her go, because that's to the strength of the game fleshing out her character. You actually give a shit when she leaves, dude.
Oh my god.
You're
Did I
like,
ever?
no, don't go. When she breaks that mirror, tears.
Oh my god.
Brad.
Yes.
I love Twilight Princess, but there's two things that immediately jump out to me when I
Gotcha.
think about the things that I don't like. I appreciate the world building and the slowness that it's trying to do in the beginning, but it feels too slow, and I think a lot of what they're having you do isn't necessarily character building, it's just kind of errand running that doesn't really strengthen the world too much. It feels more stretched out than it needs to be.
Sure, I could, yeah.
And I don't find traversing Hyrule Field to be all that exciting.
Yeah, how do you address the criticism?
What do you
It's
mean?
like Hyrule Field is usually criticized as being one of the most boring, empty, uninspired Hyrule Fields in any of the
Isn't there
Zelda
4
games.
parts of it?
Yeah, and there's like nothing to do in any of them. So
Man, you got those sick
What do
horse
you do-
fights.
what do
Like,
you
I mean,
do
like,
in
what do you do in Ocarina of Time's field? You kill ghosts. You do that in this
but
one.
think of when that came out and what
Yeah.
they did at the time.
They just made it a lot bigger.
Please.
Day night cycle.
You could have the horseback fights, dude, by Kakariko Village anytime you want, man. You
That's
want to
in
go
the
back there and
village,
have a-
though. That's
It's
not in
outside the
Hyrule
village.
Field.
It's outside the village, Dami. It's not in Kakariko Village.
No, one of the horse battles is but that's like a scripted event.
You could still fight them after that event there. There's still people on their
enemies.
boar mounts.
That's, like,
Yeah, you
enemies.
fight on.
Okay, well,
Dami, that's something you could do in the open world that you can't do in Ocarina of Time.
So what do you think of the beginning of the game?
Oh, okay. Ben, I will say, I do like the beginning of the game. I think it's very nice that it gives you time to understand where Link's life is at, where he's coming from for context. I do agree, Ben, that maybe it takes maybe a tiny bit too long to become Link, that we know him as, but I like the idea that it builds up the whole story of you meeting Midna as the wolf, being out of your element kind of thing like that, and slowly getting to that reveal of being Link. Once you actually become Link, it's one of the best moments of all time, man. It's
Also,
a 10 out of 10 moment.
Compared to like your Dragon Quests or whatever,
Sure.
it's lickety split.
Lickety split, that's right. This is a long Zelda
Ian,
game,
the
too.
Dragon Quest.
This isn't a short
As
like
a
Zelda
scholar.
game. This is one of the longest Zelda games.
Never played one.
Which game would you rather play, Twilight Princess or Ocarina of Time right now?
Twilight?
Which game would you recommend to somebody to play?
Depends on what it's their first time or not.
Ocarina's are great. We don't have to talk about it anymore.
I thought, isn't that breaking the rules? That's twice I had to defend against Ocarina.
No, you said
defending
someone else
against
was
the rights.
nominated.
I know,
you
but this
said.
doesn't have to be
The
better
Hall
than
of
that.
Great, you says protected.
This can be better worse than that and still get in. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is it better than Breath of the Wild?
In some ways, yeah.
Ooh.
Confirmed.
What if that's a nominee? Is that breaking the rule?
We don't know.
Breath of the Wild?
It's not. Yeah,
Time.
future nominees are fine.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I love the game too, but I got
I know, of course. You gotta.
Way to stand up to the shredder, dude.
Yeah, dude. That was like the final boss coming out, really.
Thanks, Hubert. Comparing me to the shredder.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
Okay.
I mean it as a praise. Straight up.
He's a formidable villain.
Damiani, you're up, dude.
All right,
Shredder, dude, one of the greats.
Dude, this is some Rocky Apollo Creed stuff.
I'm not talking during it. Just
I'll switch you back though.
I wanted to bring up the Master Sword.
just chat. If it's too low, turn up your speakers. I'm trying to make it as loud as possible. I'm worried it's a little too low, so I apologize in advance. Otherwise,
It might be low. Just
Turn up
just
your
speak
speakers.
it.
all right. So I'll switch over
Patience,
here so you
chat.
can see it. Muting us now. In the land of Izie, there echoes a legend held dearly by Damiani, that tells the tale of a boy who became a hero. He embarked on a great journey to the deepest, darkest corners of the earth, battling the forces of evil, testing the limits of his will, all to fulfill his destiny, which is, above all else, to convince Bossman. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is not only one of the greatest games ever made, but one of the most important and influential releases of all time. By utilizing the power of the new Super Nintendo hardware, Nintendo took the Zelda series into new territory while simultaneously establishing what would for roughly the next 25 years be referred to as the Zelda formula, a blueprint for making timeless and enduring games. A Link to the Past takes the best elements from its two predecessors, The Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, and fuses them together, but it doesn't stop there. Shigeru Miyamoto and his team bring the world of Hyrule to life in a way previously unseen. Inhabitants weren't restricted to caves, but rather lived in homes and had their own stories. Kakariko Village, which would become a staple of the series, is first seen in Hyrule with all its quirky residents. It's just one of the many rich new elements that created a wonderful atmosphere that makes A Link to the Past feel so special. Previously, all narrative context in a Zelda game was restricted to a single text paragraph in the title crawl and some backstory in the instruction manual. While these helped the imagination of the player, A Link to the Past took things further by providing a comprehensive backstory following the title screen sequence. However, unlike its predecessors, narrative elements delivered morsels of story right from the first moment you begin the game. As you progress through your adventure, new developments occur to motivate you onward, and coupled with the more vibrant inhabitants and their plot lines, it felt like you were playing in an actual living world that you cared about. The sense of freedom, captured so well in the past entries, remains largely intact while exploring this newly realized Hyrule. Narrative developments and clearly marked objectives provide an overall outline of your ultimate destination, but the path you take to get there is still very much dependent on choice. This isn't so much the case in the early goings, but about a third of the way through your adventure, the game really opens up and provides you a greater degree of freedom in what task you want to complete. Never mind the fact that there are plenty of secrets and optional secondary activities that provide plenty of incentive to strike out and explore the vast reaches of the world. Some provide new story insights into your journey, while others provide rare items as a reward for your troubles. You might even come across a minigame or two, a first for the series, that will speak the loudest to those with a penchant for gambling. A Link to the Past elevates the task of finding dungeons and completing them beyond deciphering cryptic clues and burning down random bushes. NPCs provide context and direction that more naturally leads you to conclusions about your objectives. This formula of having to complete tasks and interact with characters to discover the location and means to enter the next dungeon not only influenced every single game that has come after, but countless other series as well. Whereas before dungeons merely had a unique color scheme in addition to increasingly more difficult enemies, they were mostly devoid of a real theme. A Link to the Past changes that for the better by instilling atmosphere and utilizing superior designs to craft unique dungeon experiences that would not only resonate throughout the remainder of the franchise, but become one of Zelda's most enduring traits. Whether it was trying to figure out the complex puzzle of the chilly Ice Palace, fighting off hopelessness in Misery Mire, or being shocked and confused at the plot twist of Gargoyle's Domain, A Link to the Past dungeons left their unforgettable mark. A Link to the Past also started the tradition of finding a unique item in the dungeon that was needed to complete the dungeon and often served as a useful instrument in defeating their masters. Previous entries had items within dungeons that were needed to progress in the world and through parts of certain dungeons, but they weren't typically as integral to the design of a dungeon as they were in A Link to the Past. The game even pushes the notion of puzzles further than what was previously seen by introducing obstacles and solutions that required interaction with multiple rooms and, in rare cases, multiple floors. A hallmark of a truly legendary game is that it's not only praised at the time of its release, but still commands respect long after. A Link to the Past is revered even to this day because of how influential it has been to both the Zelda series and countless others. The notion of exploring two interconnected worlds, a light and a dark world, may not have first originated in A Link to the Past, but it's hard to deny it was the first game to popularize the design choice. Many games in the years since embraced this trope, whether it be future installments of Zelda or entries in other well-known franchises. The soundtrack for A Link to the Past is fantastic and helps cement the atmosphere of exploring Hyrule. Many of the series' prominent tunes first originated with this game, including, but not limited to, the soothing, tranquil melody of Kakariko Village. The captivating jingle played when drawing the Master Sword. The majesty of the theme that kicks in when storming Hyrule Castle. A Link to the Past also marks the first time we hear the iconic tracks for Princess Zelda's and Ganon's theme. Not only does this game sound good, but it looks good too. Only a year into the release of the Super Nintendo, A Link to the Past boasts wonderful visuals that help bring the world of Hyrule to life. Enemies and characters are seen in greater detail than before, and the distinct look and feel of each area and dungeon further immerses you into this wonderful world. The legacy of A Link to the Past is unquestionable. The fundamental structure of the game serves as the core fabric interwoven into every single Zelda game, and it lays the foundation for the revered Zelda formula, a blueprint used to create new entries for the series for 25 years. It is the definitive 2D Zelda experience and still holds up as one of the best traditional Zelda games alongside Ocarina of Time. May the way of the hero lead to the Hall of Greats.
Yay!
Bravo.
That was great.
All right, Kyle, you ready?
Can I say what I'm mad about?
Here, you can see it.
Should I start the timer?
Damiani told me he was doing Nintendo's.
Of course. He's obviously a troll.
And you believed
Yeah,
it?
why would he tell you?
Believe me.
You told me you were doing a video about Nintendo.
Wait, I
it
thought there were
ass?
no more backdoor shady deals.
Yeah,
what
supposed
the
to be
hell?
Whoa!
Void! Exposed!
TQ!
Exposed!
Yeah, it was used as a joke
It's
to
clearly
expose this guy.
subterfuge, yeah.
Yeah, see?
You're playing dirty tricks, so Kyle. You're sniffing where you're not supposed to.
Yeah, how long has this been going on?
You're the biggest Nintendo of all.
Oh, we should turn on the nominee? Is it there?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I
We
didn't
can
do that.
turn on.
I didn't do that. Okay, so we go. I don't need to start.
I can't think of anything bad to say.
Why does Link have? Are we going? Why does Link have pink hair when he doesn't?
He's
when
trying to
clearly
express
doesn't?
himself.
But he doesn't in the concept
He's a
art.
teenager.
Yeah,
I
there's...
had pink hair when I was a teenager.
But the official artwork, he doesn't.
Okay, it's a technical limitation of the Super Nintendo hardware. It wasn't the
Brown?
game's fault.
Damiani,
Wait,
is it
is
truly a
that true?
technical limitation, or did they not figure out how to do the art correctly yet? Are you truly telling us that
It's the
they
color-
could not have done brown hair?
It was the color palette. The limitation of the Super Nintendo color palette when they used in certain screens, yes.
Zelda 2 has color palette problems, and they don't have Link with purple hair.
Yeah, because they like everything looks like 8 colors or
Yeah,
whatever it
there's
is.
so many more colors.
Yeah, there's way more
Yeah.
colors in Super
the colors,
Nintendo.
dude.
there goes
I'm
the
saying
colors.
you don't need purple hair. It doesn't have to be the solution.
I love the purple hair.
Also, yeah, as a
Pink
kid, I
hair.
liked it. I thought like, oh, cool. Like I want to see artwork with pink Link hair.
But they don't know nothing.
And only a few people did it, and I was sad.
Damiani, I heard was so much in that present.
Yeah, I used past tense a lot by accident.
Why?
We don't all have to adhere to the Final Bossman rules.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. But I don't feel like this game is great today. Is my issue.
Why?
It's been surpassed in every way. You know what I mean?
No.
You're right in that it establishes a Zelda formula, but then I'm not going to say every game afterward. The Zelda formula has become the basis for great games, including Ocarina of Time, but many great games afterward. I don't know if you made the case for it being great today, dude.
It's not a question.
But I mean,
I got a question.
Okay.
I was gonna address it. But
So,
yeah.
since Link Between Worlds is so similar to this game, why would you recommend this game over that game?
This one, I feel like this world was crafted more carefully than A Link Between Worlds. I feel like every single screen, every path you go in this was like calculated and leads into like more naturally into like their environments. Then A Link Between Worlds also borrows so much. It literally just takes this world and just tweaks it a bit. It like A Link Between Worlds owes so much to it. I don't think it does enough original over A Link Between Link to the Past to make it superior. It's just another game that like is essentially like, let's just make a follow-up to A Link to the Past, which I still think A Link to the Past is the better. It's more focused. It's like the dungeons are better in that one.
I want to challenge that. I want to challenge the dungeons.
Oh yeah, the dungeons are great.
Because the way I see dungeons are ugly mazes. If you actually look at the design of it, if you look at the map, if I'm looking at the image of the puzzle to put together, the dungeons put together,
Yeah,
it's a slop, man.
what are you talking about? There are multiple floors.
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
They don't know how to represent multiple floors graphically.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking
You
about
can only
the
see one
wedges,
floor
dude.
that-
I'm talking about the wedges that go down into
That is literally every single top-down game in existence
It
does
isn't.
that.
It's not because Zelda 1 doesn't deal with the stuff
Yes,
in
it does.
between.
It does.
It just does it on the borders.
When you do the transition between levels in Zelda 1, it totally shows the in-between.
Yes, but there are areas in Link to the Past where it just goes down into nothing. There's actually no floor there because
you mean like the bottomless pit or something?
Yes, but it's not bottomless. It's just two angles connecting to each other right into one little slot. Or
When there's no floor below it,
There's
though?
just a wedge. Yes.
But there's a floor, but there's nothing down there.
No floor, man. Just a wedge.
Yeah, it's a wall going down.
But the wall goes down into another wall.
But what about
What?
the Seven Maidens?
Yeah, I need
Yes.
visual representation.
If you could, like, I don't know, I'm not trying to waste time, but if you like showed me,
I've always
I would-
been curious about A Link to the Past, but I'm watching this video and I'm watching you like having memorized this game. So you're like running into rooms and you're attacking each of these puzzles immediately. Like it's like I know this thing is under this rock. Where like that's why I never played the original Legend of Zelda and why I've never like been attracted to Link to the Past because like it looks tiring. It's like I think I would just wander around the map a lot and not know what the hell I'm
So
doing.
that's Zelda 1's problem. I bring up the video.
To me,
Zelda
at my
1's
age
too
in
cryptic. Zelda 1 is too
2019,
cryptic.
could I have
A Link to
fun
the
just
Past
kinda
has
rolling around this
NPCs.
game?
They have NPCs you can go talk to. If you just explore enough and encounter an NPC, almost all of them will give you a clue to something about finding a dungeon, what to do in a dungeon. In dungeons, they have those telepathic tiles, which lets you talk to Sahasrara, who's one of the elders. He'll give you clues about the dungeon as well.
Okay.
So they're not cryptic, weird mistranslations from Zelda 1. They actually provide you ample information as long as you like just look around and talk with people. You just gotta interact with people.
Huber's right about the Seven Maidens sucking, and here's what also sucks, is that when you look at the map,
you, man.
they're just numbered. You say this improves on Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 in every
Yeah.
way, but that open-endedness is gone when you number the dungeons on the map.
But you can go to them in a variety of order. You don't actually have to follow those numbers.
Why are
and
those
actually,
numbers there?
the
Where's
num-
the-
no,
where's
the
those
number.
numbers
You're
coming
actually confused
Were
as
they
how they
supposed
count.
to have
Time out.
names?
The numbers are for warp points. The actual pendants and stuff don't have numbers. They just show you the general locations of dungeons. They don't tell you how to get there. They don't tell you how to
Time,
enter.
time.
Yeah, like you're Yeah. Person.
Shredder's back.
Shredder. Super Shredder, dude.
So
Two
good.
Zelda games, one of them's Link to the Past.
Wait, so
Okay.
Link to the Past hasn't been nominated?
And then the last
No.
two, Brandon Jones.
I had blood in here.
I thought it was. For
I think this is the first time it's been brought.
Was Final Fantasy IX brought before?
Yes.
It is. I gotta say, smart play by Damiani to wait for Ocarina to get in first, because then I can't say like Ocarina's better because Ocarina's in, dude.
7, dude.
Oh, I know. Dude.
I'm waiting so I can fight you against you.
We do like Hubert
Yeah.
picks right now.
Yeah, I get it, dude. It's playing the game.
What am I gonna vote for?
Yeah, I'm curious.
I mean, you know where I stand on Mario and Zelda being the greatest two franchises of all time. So
Are you revealing your votes before?
I think
No.
Jones is ready to shock you.
I'm not revealing anything. I'm just saying,
Kyle
you know.
goad you. He's gonna try and goad you into breaking rules.
I don't remember when you said
wait for Ben,
Nintendogs.
Wait for Ben.
Yeah.
Literally, you asked me like months ago, and I jokingly like said, I got a great idea for a game. He goes, oh, what is it? I'm like, Nintendogs. And you're like, yeah, that's a good one. I thought you were playing along with my bit because like, Damian will never pick it.
It is a good one. It's an innovative game.
No, it is.
It
but
changed the
like,
Nintendo DS. You could make a case.
I'm surprised you actually took that seriously.
That's a Bloodworth pick, dude.
Y'all
Yeah, it's
can't-
definitely
y'all
more of a
can't-
blood pick.
Y'all can't be talking about your picks.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't
I was
remember
bring
why.
back
It
the
was
cards.
because he
Like,
was
bring
joking.
back the
I
cards.
thought that was like
I
a
mean, we
bit.
can
have to go
determine
back
that.
to-
We can determine that at the end of
we have to
tonight.
go back
you know,
to
if we want to say
Blood, dude?
officially, like that is.
I
that is
remember what it
rule-breaking.
was.
You
I remember
cannot
what
do
it
that.
was. Damiani
I mean, I
I
guess
asked.
it's
have
fine.
the Slack combo.
Yeah,
I can bring
yeah.
it up.
Our
Slack call.
I remember the context.
I can show you
You
it.
can
He's
bring
got
it
the
up.
receipts,
Yeah, I'll
dude.
show you.
It is nothing
I
encrypted.
thought I was joking. I'm like,
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
bringing back the
Can't believe
chords.
this.
Yeah, we're
Right.
going to court.
Why would I
dude.
ever
bringing
tell
the
you my real
chords
pick?
back.
Come on.
I think it's fine because it only hurts yourself.
So
yeah,
when-
'cause
yeah,
Kyle
yeah.
came prepared for
Right.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're
That person could look up things against you, you know?
So I remember what happened is Damiani asked like, "Hey, do I have time to make a video? Because we're doing this at the end of April, right, as opposed to the beginning." And I said, "Yeah, you're not doing Mario 3, are you?" And he says, "No, I'm doing Nintendogs." And I'm like, "Okay, cool."
So you revealed your pick.
I always
You
have
have
to.
mine, yes.
Oh,
Dominic
yeah,
always
no,
knows our
yeah,
picks,
right,
yeah.
right, I
I
forgot.
was not revealing my real pick, and was like, I can't tell you.
Yeah,
I wish
So,
I knew.
I thought he knew
bringing
better.
Link to
I
the
was
Past,
like,
dude. I would have switched it up.
I
Probably.
know, man. That was brutal.
All right, we're ready for
A brutal play.
Don't forget about Dark Souls Remastered, though.
There's too many good games.
It's a really good
I'm
game.
so mad.
Somebody mentioned in chat, they're like, "This. I think this is the best."
It's
lineup.
stacked ass lineup.
It's always stacked.
And
about to
also
stack
Waverly
it further.
64. It's a stacked lineup.
I really wish the liquid was blue, Don. It's really
That really put you over the edge.
Man, and it
juice
wasn't
was
nearly as
blue.
opaque as I
I kind of love that it was.
I absolutely love that it wasn't.
You could just
that
say
was
it's
like,
the lake level,
you couldn't
dude.
even see
so
in it.
Just say it's the
beautiful.
lake level.
Like raw sewage?
Yeah.
I wrote like an essay on defending the sprites in the game, and you didn't ask me
Oh,
about
I know, dude. I was so ready to. Because Damiani, in the video, right when you say the art is like there's like a guy who like looks like he's wearing sunglasses on the floor, and then you show the two gnomes with beards who also look super ugly. There's, like, there's not a single good sword.
I don't know what he's
talking about.
There's a guy in the church lying down wearing sunglasses because they don't know how to make eyes.
Can someone please make
Yeah, it's a yellow card.
Isn't
he
dead?
Straight yellow card,
Yellow
dude.
card.
That's a new
So
show.
Boston's
Yeah.
unhinged.
People draw interpretations of what you see of sprites.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, this is almost a red card. I agree.
It's like,
Damiani started it.
Borderline.
This
This
is-
is
He said I was taking notes. He's-
both of you.
Damiani
This is
set
two
me
yellow
off.
cards.
He set me off. Okay.
Two.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep your cool.
Yeah.
Missing Ben?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here he is.
Final presentation,
Oh,
everybody.
Ben, I
This is
just
our last
noticed
game.
your shirt
Gear
goes
up.
with your game.
Yeah.
Gird your
Gear up.
loins.
Fall in.
You got your
Come
mic
the last
on.
of us.
Damiani's his mic turned on. Okay.
Oh hi.
Hi.
Hey, Ian started.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just checking.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
What is on assignment?
Okay. Begin the clock. I want to say thank you to everybody involved in this Hall of Greats
Oh, he's
because
buttering me
I'm
up.
bringing this game back again.
Oh.
And I love this game. I want this game to be competitive. In my mind, this game is unquestionably one of the greatest games. This is a monumental history-making game that I think even today, and I actually want to start with you, Hubert, because I want to challenge something that you said earlier, but I really enjoyed the cross-examination. When I brought this game earlier, and people countered with a lot of points, it brought up a lot of excellent points. And so I revisited this again, and I want to make another case why I firmly believe GoldenEye 007 is one of the best games that anybody's ever made. And I want to touch on something that you said, Hubert. You said, right now, currently in present day, this is the best gaming has ever been. I beg to differ because there was a glorious era called the 1990s when we got a movie and then it was a game, and we got another movie and then it was a game. And then stop doing that. Like, we're not getting an Endgame movie. We're not getting a Season 8 Game of Thrones game. These things aren't, we're not getting an Endgame game. Like, it doesn't happen. Like, we're going to get some weird Avengers game from Square Enix that's kind of like things. Like, we get Arkham and that's great, but like, they're not directly based on something. And the fact that here comes GoldenEye at a time when, if you look back at the history of first-person shooters, consoles weren't doing a whole lot. They were not breaking records. They are not. If you wrote a book on first-person shooters, you would hit consoles right before GoldenEye. So there's like one or two games that, like Jumping Flash and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, there's actually some interesting things going on in games that are exclusive to consoles. And then GoldenEye comes out of nowhere and not only does all of these amazing, innovative things in the first-person shooter genre, but brings not only the movie GoldenEye to life, brings in Jaws from Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker, Oddjob from Goldfinger, Baron Samedi from Live and Let Die, Scaramanga from Golden Gun, and Mayday from A View to a Kill. I can't think of another game that was like, oh, you know, we kind of hit the cap with this one movie. Let's bring in other characters from the franchise. Especially something like Bond, especially something that has such a legacy and so many characters that they can bring in. Some fascinating things I learned about GoldenEye actually in just researching this. Apparently, according to the internet, one of the first shooters to have a sniper rifle. To have a sniper rifle that you brought up and zoomed in. You think about like Quake and Doom and Wolfenstein, a lot of these other like crazy busy shooters, was one of the first shooters ever to have headshots. Like if you shot a person in the head, their head would snap and blood would shoot out and they were dead. And that was like one-hit kills. One of the first games to have penalties for killing innocents. Like the fact that you can like, you know, shoot the scientists you're not supposed to, and if you shoot them enough, like they'll pull guns out and try to defend themselves. And I think it's because they were trying to recreate this film environment that they weren't thinking about a shooter in the traditional sense of like, I just want this to be as fast and gratuitous as it can possibly be. I really want, you know, all of these weapons to be really big and boisterous, like in a Doom sense. But no, we actually have to recreate this realistically. So we have to figure out like what these human beings are doing in this environment. And it was just so revolutionary for the time, especially considering like what was being done. Like you compare this to Turok, which is also a great game, but it's just like so obviously like leaps and bounds control-wise and all the different options that were available. I also really want to. I talked about gadgets a lot before. You know, I really feel that that's very special. They're exclusive to every level. There's 3 difficulties, which change all of the objectives that you do. We've discussed this previously on Hall of Grades. I really want to focus on stealth, though, because another thing that they talked about that was so different from first-person shooters, not a lot of people were doing that, obviously plays into being Bond and being, you know, stealthing through levels. And not only stealth, required stealth, not only like you can't be spotted and then immediately the mission's going to fail, almost every single level in this game, with the exception of like the train or the depot, like where they know you're coming, like you can continually stealth. Like, you can make it all the way to the end of the dam and like nobody sees you coming. And I just think for Bond that really fits. I think for the genre it's really fascinating. And I just want to talk about another thing, which I admit, you know, this is a weird game on a weird console on a very weird controller. This game controls very differently from a lot of other first-person shooters. But to me, I appreciate that. I think if you take four Nintendo 64 controllers and the console in this game and drop it like at any party or anybody that's playing a game, I don't think. This is something that's a game that will certainly date themselves, but I don't think you can introduce this to people and have them say, yeah, I'm not having fun. Yeah, if we all just use rocket launchers or slappers, or if we play at some of the crazy modes, if we do big head mode or spray paint cheats, if we try out the weirder stuff that this game does, I think it still completely holds up today. It is so incredibly unique. And like I said before, in all of the innovation that it brought to the first-person shooter genre, and the fact that it did a retelling and a repurposing of a movie storyline and environments. It's an incredible game.
Do you want some Bloodworth seconds to finish that sentence?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
It's one of the great.
Nice.
Jones, the Hall of Greats has always and will always be, to me, about if a game holds up today over nostalgia. And while GoldenEye might be my favorite game that has been brought here today, I can't in good conscience say that it holds up today. 2-player, multiplayer, let alone like 4-player, is borderline unplayable today. The frame rate dips down to no joke 5 frames per second. What?
But it doesn't.
If I want to play multiplayer with you guys, like, how do we? What can we do? It's just.
Yeah. It's a chaotic game. I mean, it doesn't drop for 5 frames for one person. It's a split screen game. So like anything that happens in the game, any sort of like if you turn big head mode on and everybody's like clipping through the environment, that's what I'm saying. Like I think the way it holds up today is in that kind of absurd party game environment. Like in that way of surprising people, in going through levels and having things be crazy, and like, you know, realizing realizing that like, oh, I can kill what's his name's character, like tries to pull the gun on you in that one level, and like as long as I do that after he runs away, like it's not going to interrupt the mission. I think there's just a lot of weird things that are going on with this game, and I think where for some people they will still love it because they love Bond, they'll still love it because they love playing this game. I think even new people introduced to this game can enjoy it because there's so much going on. There's so many characters to choose from. There's so many multiplayer maps. There's so many different secrets in each level. And there's so many different crazy weapons that you can use in this game that I still think, performance-wise, yeah, I think there are performance issues. I hate to do that in holograms. I hate to like make comparisons with other things. But like, I think, me personally, I'm not like a big crazy frame rate person. Like when it lowers frame rate, unless I cannot tell what's going on. But as long as it affects all players, yeah, that's not something that I think detracts from the experience in a way that makes it unplayable.
So, Jones, from what I understand, the difficulty of this game, the settings are objectives. The more difficult it gets, the more objectives I take on.
Right.
Is that fair to someone who's bad at the game to just lock off parts of the level that are potentially fun and interesting out of that difficulty level?
I don't mind because it doesn't unlock like an extra ending. Like there's no part of the story necessarily you're missing. A lot of it is, yeah, maybe like one extra room or one extra section. I think I like it because I think it's just so different from a lot of other ways that shooters handle things, and I think it's fascinating, especially when you think of it being a translation of this film, that the more you up the difficulty, the more you start to get into actually what was done in the film. You can actually see, oh, like, yeah, that's right, that alarm was turned off, but I didn't actually see Pierce Brosnan do it, but now I'm doing it in the mission. And I think it's fascinating to actually play it on the lowest difficulty and then slowly ramp that up as you go through, because you start to realize, oh, I kind of took for granted that, yeah, I just waltzed into that room and I didn't actually like set it up in any way or like put a you know, an item in a certain place or like retrieve a certain piece of intelligence that like, yeah, I actually did need later on in the story. So I appreciate that in terms of accessibility, but I also appreciate that because it does get closer to the story and you do realize, oh, that is something that Bond should have done or Bond would have had to do.
Speaking of accessibility and today's standards and holding up today, there's no online multiplayer.
Correct.
So the only way to really play this is to hook up an N64, hopefully to a CRT, and have 3 friends over. Do you find that a benefit or a detriment?
I think it is a detriment to the goal of trying to play GoldenEye 007. But once you actually achieve that, if I was to go over to a friend's house and like it was hooked up and ready to go, like I think, again, I think it makes it special in terms of, like I said, how different, you know, franchise games are today. If you're trying to reference something directly, like a property directly, I think it's so unique that it doesn't make me sad that it's on a unique controller, that it has a unique control scheme, that it's on a console that like didn't have like a deluge of greatest hits. I kind of like the exclusivity of it. I think it makes it special.
Brandon, so I really like what GoldenEye's doing with its single player and the objectives that make it harder. Something that I didn't think was good even at the time is there are moments where GoldenEye tasks you with defending another character.
Right.
And those characters are dumb.
Yeah.
And they cannot defend themselves at all, and it ends up becoming this babysitting, and it just feels like the game isn't capable of handling that task in a way that is fun and interesting the way that some of the other objectives are.
You're not wrong. Like you're speaking probably of my most, like when I go back through, if we were to stream it right now.
Oh.
Bloodless Minutes.
I think that doesn't count for cross-examination.
We get to hammer him.
Dude, what a spicy
I
hologram.
am with me.
Is my mic off?
Time to kill the mic.
I don't feel good.
Oh,
But anyways,
This is a tough.
yeah, this is
This
rough.
is a tough.
Oh, yeah.
What's that mic's number? What's it? What's the
Wait,
number on it?
no, we're just gonna
Blue
R
R.
combined.
So
Blue R.
just cut all of them for a
We
sec.
can leave. Oh,
Because we just got to move that over. We got a blue.
cut. It's labeled the same. It's road.
Yeah, blue R.
Blue R.
Cut the blue R.
Blue R. Cut blue R.
We should relabel these.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
Scooch here.
And do we want to? Yeah, just talk about the process. So the white coins are at the bottom. So that's to make it sound like even the
Yes.
ones we haven't voted for have a little change in there.
Yeah.
So when we count later, ignore anything that's a white coin. We don't have our own individual little
Can you
coin
show me the
purses.
preview of the-
Oh, we're going to be going back in. They are all stacked up.
So there's 6.
We might have to change the
questions?
exposure there. That's a little hard to read the whites.
Yeah, I
It
can
got,
notice that.
it got brighter.
Can we just see what blood to pick is, or is that not allowed?
He
I
might
think
No,
it's not
because he might
allowed because
say-
You might pick it the next time.
Ben, I want to see it so bad.
me too.
Just curiosity, you know?
There you go.
That's better.
It's probably a Metroid game.
Oh yeah, you want
Metroid 2
tack it
then.
I don't know.
together like a
Look at
tape
the
for you.
thickness. Look at the thickness of the logo. What
That's
could have
pretty
fit
thick.
there?
It's a thick logo.
That's a thick logo.
It was Pikmin 2.
That's a Witcher 3
yeah.
logo space.
Witcher 3.
If he finally pulled the trigger on
Yeah.
Witcher 3.
It's time.
Shadow's that thick.
Skellige!
We're doing this,
Skellige's hype.
We got some updated images though.
Oh yeah, that looks awesome, dude. Put it
Yeah,
up.
good job on it.
First,
yeah, let's
obviously
look at
here
the
are
past.
past winners. Are going
Oh,
Nice.
Look at those glorious video games.
So I can't remember what Portal was tied with. What was the
God of
actual?
War.
Oh.
God of
And then the patrons chose it?
Yeah.
Yes.
New God of War?
And it was really close. It was
Yeah,
New God
it's
of
new
War.
God
yeah.
of War.
He's also made by Chris LaRue.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Chris.
I did.
And then check this out.
Oh.
Baby,
Wow,
look at all
that. What up,
those
Jill? What up,
beautiful
Jill?
characters.
What up, David?
Quite cool. Look at that link.
Look at Chrono.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just owning that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got 2 Pokemon in, baby.
We ready. So now
Enjoy it.
we mute every mic except that one.
So what you're about to see, chat, is each person we will vote in the order in which we presented. We have 3 votes: one worth 3 points, one worth 2 points, one worth 1 point. We can't vote on our own game. Top 2 get in. Each of us will explain quickly why we're voting for the games we were voting for, and then Damiani will tally them. We're going to have chat turned off. We won't be able to see what you're saying because you will know the results before we do. And then Damiani will reveal the results, and we all get mad, and then that's it. That's the
And
end
then
of
we
the
turn
stream.
chat back on.
Yeah, and then we turn chat back on.
All right.
And then we all get mad.
We will see you in a bit.
Cool.
Muted all the mics. Put it up that camera.
What first?
Don,
Dun,
can you
dun,
talk to
dun,
that
dun.
mic really quick just so you make sure
I
you see
vote
levels,
first.
like kind of.
Let me see that done.
Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1,
Chat,
2,
does that sound
testing,
good
testing,
from Don?
testing, 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 testing,
Or leave, and
testing,
they're like, it sounds-
testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Okay.
8, 9, 10. Good.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna shut the
I didn't
door.
know I was gonna be first. Super Mario Brothers 3. Oh man, this is tough. Wait, okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh man, this is tough. Okay. So. Okay. I'm just going to start with what I do know. What I do know is that it was a great presentation and it's a great game, and I don't have any doubts about my number 1 choice when it comes to this group of great games. By the way, happy to be able to just nominate one amongst this group. A Link to the Past. 3. Really nice presentation, Damiani. My 2 will go to, man, this is so tough. You know, Jones's presentation on GoldenEye was amazing, and I was almost certainly going to give it 1 vote, I thought, but it is true. It's tough to play today, and what my evaluations go so much on are replayability for the Hall of Greats. I think that's a really important factor, at least for my judgment. So GoldenEye, really such a great game, so many good memories, but today I have gone back to it multiple times, and it's fun, but it's very tough, especially with other people who haven't played it in the past. All right, I gotta go. I gotta do this fast. Ben Moore's presentation was incredible, and he really actually made me want to check out 9 again, because I didn't play that since I was quite young, but I'm going to give 1 to Ben Moore. The presentation was over the top good. My number 2 vote... okay, it's between Sekiro, Super Mario Brothers 3. Both presentations were so fantastic, but once again, the deciding factor, I think, has to be replayability. I make so much of my decisions on that. And Super Mario Brothers, man, 3, right? You're going to play it more, I think. Huber's presentation was over the top good also, though. 2 for that. All right, everybody.
Oh, no sweat. Hi. Hi. Oh, man. I'm waiting for that slow door to shut. Ooh, these are mostly blue. I'm going to take this stack. They're all blue and 1 black. Okay, this is hard. This is really hard. Man, Dark Souls doesn't stand a chance. Okay, I felt pretty good about it. All right, I'm going to have to go with... Yeah, I'm going to go with 3 for Twilight Princess, just because, man, I love that game. And, oh, Dawn. I wanted to give Dawn 1 vote just so it doesn't get banned, but maybe someone else will. Gotta go with 2 for Zelda Link to the Past, and I gotta give it to Mario 3. So that's my choices. Bye.
Hello. Whoop. Okay. So out of all the games, I really wanted to think of a bad thing to say about A Link to the Past, and I just couldn't do it. I think that game holds up like the masterpiece that it is, so we're going to give that 3 Werehogs. Where's that? It's right here. Secondly, I really liked its presentation, but also it is a game that can't help but fill my soul with joy, and that is Super Mario Bros. 3. And last, but certainly not least, I know that it is soon. I know that it is usually wise to wait and see things out, but I feel in my bones that Sekiro deserves to be here. I adore that game. All right.
What up, chat? What up, chat? Yeah, what? So Super Mario Brothers 3 is like my favorite game of all time, and it's perfect. So 3. I was actually gonna bring that game, but Kyle stole it. Twilight Princess is my favorite Zelda. So 2. And 1 last. And Link to the Past. So yep, Mario and Zelda. It's boring, I know, but they're amazing games. See you later, chat. Love you.
Huber walked down the hallway in a rush. I was surprised he was done already. Okay, I kind of have it figured out already. Sorry. Obviously, Final Fantasy IX. I'm super stoked Ben brought it because that means I can give it 3 points. This is gonna sound insane. This is super crazy. I'm giving my 2 to Sekiro. A little behind-the-scenes baseball here. Huber told me earlier today. He's like, "Man, somebody got mine." You know what I mean? Like, I really wanted to do a presentation and everything. I loved that presentation. He hit me. He hit me with his words. It was like, I got to do that. And so, Dark Souls, I think would have gotten that vote. I feel like Sekiro stole that vote, but I honestly don't like Twilight Princess too much. Obviously, I hate A Link to the Past. So it's between GoldenEye, Wave Race 64.
Why is it so? Why would I give my vote to GoldenEye? Why am I doing this? I guess because like I really do like the difficulty options. I think that's pretty sweet. And like Jones, like he hit my heart when he talked about like the best possible way to adapt a story, right? Like you see a movie and you want to like be James Bond, right? And the game like lets you do that. As bad as it is, I hate those yellow buttons. Okay, Wave Race 64, you got it, bud.
Hey chat room, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. Seeing this werehog, I don't know if you could see it, reminds me of the Sonic movie coming out. I haven't watched the trailer, but I saw Sonic and he looks terrible. So I'm sure it'll be a great movie. Okay, so let's see. So we use this row. I'm giving 3 points to one of my favorite games ever, and that's A Link to the Past. I cannot deny it. I love that video game. I was struggling to find things to criticize about it. Next. I'm going to pick Super Mario Bros. 3. Yeah. I love Super Mario Bros. 3. I think it's a fantastic game. Once again, struggling to find things to criticize about it. And for my last game, it's time. It's time, chat. Final Fantasy 9. One of my second favorite Final Fantasy of all time. Phenomenal game. I love it. It's great to see it again. Hope it makes it. All right, chat. Get the next person. Next.
The chips in front. I got it. Oh, Kyle, did you show them again? Oh, they're right here. Wait, 1 sec. Where are the chips again?
They're in front of the thing. They're like right on the table.
Oh, on the table.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think. Oh, I'm. Is there actually enough left? Hang on. Sorry, chat. 3, 2. Okay, there is enough left. All right. Sorry. I thought we didn't have enough chips left. I was just making sure we were cool. Before I do this, though, obviously, see how late we're going. It's easy like anime is probably not happening until probably like 10. So it's going to be delayed, just to give you the heads up. Yo, I can't even see all the games. Who thought of this? GoldenEye. I'm allowed to pick them up and know how much are in them because I'm the one who's going to be counting them. All right, so let's go in reverse order. Who's getting my like third place chip? And I can't vote for myself. You know, chat, I'm torn between Kyle's Super Mario Bros. 3 and Don's Wave Race 64 for my third place chip. That's hard. Let me do the other ones first. I am going to give Final Fantasy 9 2 chips. I'm going to give Dark Souls. Do I want to? Oh, this is so tough. Shit. Now I don't want to give my third. I actually want to give my third, like 3 chips to Final Fantasy. Oh, fudge. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm giving my 3 chips to Final Fantasy 9. That's a 3 went into that. I'm gonna give 2 chips. Why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? I really liked Ian's video, but I don't know how I I feel about Dark Souls. Sucks. My heart screams like Wave Race, but like I was trying to think of flaws, but like it is a simple game, so those water physics so good. The problem is like Kyle's presentation. I mean, it's a well put together presentation, but he doesn't talk about a lot of the good stuff. That made me kind of annoyed about that. And Brad had a pretty good presentation for Twilight Princess. I feel like it was a little bit too much of a list, though, of like what was in it and not why they were actually good. So he did a very good defense against the Shredder. You know, I'm gonna give one chip for defense against the Shredder, and then last 2 chips. Oh my gosh, I get 2. Oh, why is this so hard? Why? Why is this the hardest one ever? Oh, come on, just pick one. I hate this. I'm wasting time. All right. You know what, Dawn? I'm giving it to you. I'm going with my heart, Dawn. There's your 2 chips. Yes! Dawn. I'm right. I'm out of here. I can't handle this. Too hard.
Damiani taking his sweet time. I might take my time with this because, man, I don't know. I'll tell you what I do know. What's up, everybody? I'll tell you what I do know. Here's what I do know. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we got that out of the way. Boy, I gotta be honest. Going last tonight, when I saw like the list of games that were going up, I was like, oh no. Well, I'm gonna be excited to bring up some more points about GoldenEye. But man, these are some really excellent video games. I'm really happy about Don and I being Nintendo 64 bros tonight. Come on, it's Super Mario Bros. 3. I mean, let's get out of here. Like that's a Super Mario Bros. 3. I think kind of beats a lot of these other things because it Super Mario Bros. 3 is just so incredibly leaps and bounds visually above like every NES game that ever graced that console. It just looks so much better than the other ones, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know how they did that. And oh man, Link to the Past versus Dark Souls versus GoldenEye. I can't vote for my own game, but like Twilight Princess I never finished. Like Amanda and I played that together, and we got really confused. We just like kind of drifted out of it because we weren't really sure what we were supposed to do. And even though I have played Twilight Princess, but I've never played Link to the Past, I think I'm going to give it to Link to the Past because there were a lot of things that Damiani pointed out that I didn't know in terms of like a lot of the stuff that they did first. And to hear, these themes that were played for the first time and they're still really great. And I know Kyle's got his issues about visuals. I think that is a very consistently beautiful game. I'll give it to Link to the Past. There we go. Tough calls though, man. All right.
I'll take that.
Take them.
Yeah.
Take those.
I know. That's not me for having
But then I'm back on all of you.
Activate all the other mics.
Every chapter. All mics back on.
Am I on?
Mike's on.
Yeah, that chair is visible, yeah. All right, Chatteroony, we got to talk about what's coming up for you to see.
Just say Chatteroony.
I'm gonna put these down.
Yes. Chatteroonies. Sophie.
Are we streaming? Ben, you got Wednesday?
No, so we're going to be shooting a long block of tabletop tomorrow. So that would be when Ben's Day normally occurs. So no Ben's Day tomorrow. It'll be a 2-week absence of Ben's Day, but we'll get it back. We'll get it back.
One of those has a lot of chips in it.
What did you guys shoot today?
We shot. What did we shoot?
Avengers Endgame spoiler
Avengers
mode.
Endgame spoiler mode.
Spoiler mode.
Myself, Ubisoft, Damianicus, and Jornsy.
Is the TV off?
No.
Turn it off, please.
Got it.
It was 2 hours long.
TV's out, baby.
It was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And we didn't even get to the
Oh, I'm sure there's all
And it was
sorts
crazy-
of scenes we missed and a lot of
It's
stuff.
crazy
we
that you
didn't
guys
cover.
only
White
talked
chips
about
don't count,
Sekiro in the Avengers
chips
spoiler.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to Avengers.
Shocker, I haven't even finished the game.
We
but I
didn't
was-
get to Avengers.
I just
Along
talked
for the
about
ride.
Sekiro the whole time.
Yeah.
What else did we shoot?
It's a podcast. It's a fun podcast.
And then a bunch coming to later tonight.
Yeah,
and
shoot
then,
some more stuff tonight.
Tomorrow's
Some
a
more
shoot
stuff tonight.
heavy day.
Yep.
Yep.
Thursday I'm doing community showcase with Joe.
Yeah.
Woo!
That'll be fun. I love doing those, dude.
Yeah.
They're really
If you've never heard of community showcase, it's like a tier, right? It's a Patreon
It's a
tier.
$10 tier, patreon.com/easyallies.
And then people just send in art. Sometimes they just send in like, I just want to say this message, and we get messages read. Photographs.
jolly.
Yeah.
Video, music. The music is out of
Yeah.
control.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious, Brandon.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a legitimate question, not a troll. But post Hall of Greats, do you get any Hall of Greats salt in the community showcase?
No, that's usually a Cup of Jones stuff.
Okay.
They'll have some
Taking a Cup
questions
of
about
Jones,
here. I
yeah.
have an idea about how you do that.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
all the anti-sentiment behind the backdoor shady deals, like the alliances. All of that was
Gotcha.
through Cup of Jones.
We're gonna be hearing it about Bloodworth minutes.
Oh, yeah.
We only gave out like probably 30 or 40
We're gonna
seconds
take
worth.
the lashing.
Yeah.
I just think we make a new rule every Hall of Grades.
Yeah.
And
But
like,
I think the Bloodworth minutes are kind of a counterpoint to the backdoor shitty deals because people are frustrated because they're like, I didn't see this happen. Something's going on
Yeah.
that we're not privy to. Whereas if they're getting more deliberation, especially deliberation that we all vote on at the same time on camera.
Whereas Blood is a
But who knows?
time wizard, and that's very
Right,
transparent.
right.
Yeah.
What if we add 5 minutes of collective, every Hall of Greats, even if Bloodworth's there's 5 minutes of Bloodworth minutes, and then everyone can take a little piece if their presentation's going over, and hopefully there's enough for
A little too
everyone.
cute. It's a little too
But
cute.
then what if somebody just takes it all?
Yeah.
Says he who
Yeah.
goes over every single time.
we should just take his time, Bloodworth's time, for being absent this time.
Blood, you have 10
I'm
seconds.
taking a minute.
He was
Blood.
like 90 seconds.
Yeah, right.
I've just sucked 1 year of your life away.
Damiani did not tell us what Bloodworth's game is, so we'll
Correct.
never know until
We'll
next time.
never
Chat.
know.
Until next
If he
time.
decides.
I was,
But knowing Blood, he'll never tell us.
he,
He'll
text, he
be
texted
like,
me.
oh, I picked a different game the next
And
time.
he'll
Like,
never
oh, what was
nominate
the
you.
game
Yeah, he'll
before?
never
I'm not telling you.
And he texted me.
Oh,
It was D&D.
oh, okay. That would have been nice.
Which edition?
Yeah.
First edition. First
Wow.
edition.
Bold,
yeah.
bold.
Yeah.
World of Darkness. Yeah.
There's
Streamed
an
Little Dreams
Aliens
this morning.
tabletop RPG that was announced. And it looks dope.
Friday night, I'm streaming, trying to make a Game Boy game.
Whoa.
For Game Boy?
Yeah.
Ambitious.
There's a really cool like Game Boy making software that somebody released on his own, and it's like pretty cool. It's hard, and like I'll have to make all my own graphics, but like
Is it Pico 8 or what are you using?
it's called GB Studio. It's
Oh,
just
wow.
it's just for
Brand
Game Boy
new.
games.
Do you think
Yeah.
it'll be like an M-rated game or?
Ben, I'm thinking it might be an M-rated.
Strong language.
Like it's not strong. Like Brad, I was thinking about this during my stream. Is like I'm not strong language, but I think I'm like strong subject matter.
Right.
Like I feel like the
Very
subject
Adult themes.
Very
about
dark.
yes, and so I think it'll be like M for adult theme.
But I think when you use language, Kyle, it's
Yeah.
really intense.
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard you say
Brad's
some
had to hear it,
F-bombs, and it's
yeah.
really uncomfortable.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever heard Kyle
Kyle's
say
6-letter
F-bomb.
words sound like 4-letter words, just in how he delivers.
I love monochrome, like very few pixeled M-rated game. I love it. It's like there's enough definition in there.
They worked for this.
You can tell where it
Yeah.
goes wrong.
It'll
Are
probably
you gonna
happen.
get it pressed into a cart?
That's the crazy thing is you make a ROM that could
Oh, that would be
technically
amazing.
Cool.
That has to be a group stream.
That's a group
then.
stream, yeah.
is playing the game.
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah.
And it's only gonna be like a half hour long, but
Right.
yeah, maybe
Perfect.
that'd be fun.
Also,
4 playthroughs.
yeah.
Speed run, dude.
I didn't know about the Itch.io Jam, whatever they
Oh, yeah.
do for Glenny's Cauldron.
I'm
That
really
is
excited about that.
Such a cool idea.
I think we'll do it like next month.
Oh my god.
We're gonna wrap up submissions of like
Next month is in
Ingredients.
tomorrow.
at the end of next month.
Okay.
Give me like 4 more weeks of submissions.
Oh,
and then,
Fade.
Well, that's E3 month then, man.
Fam,
Yeah.
tonight you gotta do it. Jones, you put up a video this week, didn't you?
What'd I do?
What did you do?
Oh, I did.
What did you do,
Special
Jones?
video, Jones.
What did you do?
Oh,
what did
yeah.
you do, Joe?
What did I do?
We know what he did.
Yeah. People might not know. I saw people bringing it up in chat, but I'm having a baby. I'm not having a baby. My wife's having a baby.
Papa Jones.
Papa
Man, it's true.
Jones.
Not Daddy Jones, Papa Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
Not Papa John. Papa
Keep
Jones.
it cool, Chad.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Daddy's
Yeah, Amanda's expecting in August 15th. We are
close to my birthday,
scheduling.
man.
We are scheduling Easy Living on a safe distance from that. That's I'm missing PAX West for a second year.
Easy Living
And,
gonna
I
feel
will
like
be-
a bachelor party, dude.
Yeah, I know.
That's the theme.
We're gonna be off.
That's the theme.
We're like, you don't have a baby yet.
Yes, there.
Okay, wait, we got it. Wait,
yeah,
we got it. We gotta know.
What was
Are you
your
gonna
game?
bring the same game next month?
But I mean, I might bring it the next time.
yeah, right.
Damn
That's what we
it.
thought. That's what we
Damn
thought.
it.
Damn
I
it.
wanna know.
All right.
Rejection.
All
So
right.
cool. So, yeah, he
Oh, we
brought
have Chad
Smackdown.
off now too.
It did feel. It felt like the glass just broke. And
Yeah.
James-
If Bloodworth came in here and just stunned someone.
Heard you talking. It's just like, heard you talking.
Throws you through the window.
Fly on a few
Just
just
floating
that.
Just floating away.
The Team Rocket. What, did you see any of this? Do you know what we brought?
I saw some comments, but I don't really know.
I would
Some comments.
Were they angry?
No.
Okay.
Nice.
Can we ask what Blood would have voted for? Is that against rules too? Oh, never mind. We got
After
it.
they win,
So,
let's
I have
ask.
to tell you something real quick.
Uh-oh.
I double checked with chat to
Yeah.
make sure this didn't influence anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're cool. So I dropped one chip when counting, and I thought I picked it up, but I actually dropped two, and I didn't pick up the second chip. The winner differences are enough that that one chip wouldn't account for it, but I also double checked that a zero vote, that it didn't eliminate a zero vote, and they're like, the ones I thought got zero.
Okay.
Plural.
Ones.
Yeah.
The ones that got
I predicted
it does
3.
not change any final outcome.
Sure.
The long con.
I wonder if we should just ask chat going forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, they could.
We
they
can
could
ask.
cheese
So
it.
chat.
Yeah.
After I reveal
Yeah.
the totals, just tell me which one had one more vote, and
Okay.
we'll be cool.
All right.
Where's the switch for this one?
Oh, you're just blasting your eyes all
Yeah, I was just like,
Where's the mic?
You want to just grab right there? It's on the table for
Yeah,
you.
so they can hear me better.
ooh, so fancy.
Production Damiano.
Thank you.
Salad love.
Salad love.
Upgrade.
Yeah, he's got to get another
Salad love.
Yeah. Damiani, can I like buy you a salad?
Dude, salad thing.
Salad love.
Salad
Salad love.
Salad love.
Salad love.
We're gonna dress
Salad
you like
love. Nom, nom, nom.
I think we're all Bowie fans.
Salad love.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, chat. You get to discover who
I'd love
has
to
the
do like a
missing
Ziggy Stardust
chip.
Dreams level. That'd be great.
Oh,
All right,
Brandon.
Are you ready?
All right. So I'll go. Yeah, we'll go in reverse order. So, the bad news.
Oh no.
We had
no.
No.
0 votes.
Oh boy.
Can we guess
And
them?
yes, go ahead. Try and guess them.
Oh,
Sekiro.
Wave
Sekiro
race.
and Wave Race.
Nope.
Ah!
The
swear
0
to God, if
votes
it's Dark Souls.
were Dark Souls Remastered and Golden.
No!
GoldenEye, I can understand.
No.
He would
So-
sabotage you. I'm positive Sekiro took all of the Dark Souls votes.
You voted for Sekiro over Dark Souls?
I would have, yeah.
So that, Dark Souls Remaster was supposed to be cover all like Dark Souls just general as the game.
Yeah.
It's banned forever now.
Pierce
Just
through
reinstall
for
it.
years.
Forever! If anyone brings it, I'm making sure it goes down.
Brought it before, and it didn't get it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sorry.
gosh, that's
No more
terrible.
FromSoft games.
I can't believe the Dark Souls bad luck. What?
Oh,
Oh, I'm kind of excited actually. That
God.
1 year gap. Just everybody forget about it and then you come back punching harder than ever.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
I cannot believe
Because I appreciated what I learned from last time. Now I got to prove that frame rate.
I
You know,
feel
now I got to
I feel
attack. That's the main
responsible
issue. I got to
you
prove.
guys forgot about that
I got to
video.
prove GoldenEye 007 multiplayer,
really good
4-player split screen is playable.
Your presentation is just gonna be us playing.
Bring it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
No one's
I
ever
can't
tried
believe
that.
I actually feel bad.
Okay, sorry, Damian.
This
Alright.
is Dark Souls.
All right.
Put your hands
So
on it.
next, tied for 5th place each with 3 votes,
Wow.
which may be corrected by chat. And one of them might have got one more vote, but Sekiro and Wave Race each got 3 votes.
Thank you. Thank you.
We did it, Dom.
Thank you.
We live to fight another day.
That's a lot of games already.
I'm
Trying to see.
depressed.
I also like getting 2 games in the Hall of Greats.
Chat,
and then
did both of those
bottoming
have 3
out for
votes
the
to you as well?
third.
What?
Looks like that was correct as well. They both had 3 votes. So
Yeah, you had a streak going.
I did.
dude.
There we go. Here we go. So in 4th. Okay, so we got to do this the other way.
Oh.
So the number 1 votes, the one that is the first place winner, who's getting in.
Okay.
Who's getting
We're
in?
there already?
Oh, actually, no. Do you want me to do 4th place?
Yeah, I think you do
Yeah.
fourth.
I like fourth, and then we
Play
have 3
games with my
left.
heart.
Wow.
You do
All right.
fourth, then first.
So 4th place. 4th place with 5 votes was Twilight Princess.
Okay, I'll take it.
Boo!
Okay.
I'll take it.
Boo.
Boo! It should have won.
You know, I tried my best, all right?
You did great, Brett.
I tried.
So Twilight Princess had 6. So there you go. It really didn't affect anything there. So
So you thought it had 5, but it
yeah, it had
had
6, but like that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Still
Damiani
same.
dropped a vote.
Lives another day, baby.
Yeah, here it is. I have it accounted for. It's right here.
I'm bringing footage of the field next time.
All right, now. Okay, so our top 3 are Final Fantasy IX, Super Mario Bros. 3, and The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Unsurprising.
This is intense.
I feel like I know exactly how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
This could
I
be
feel like I know exactly how this is gonna go.
All right, so first place, the first one getting in that had the most votes. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Oh,
In your face, bossy boy!
Blood loving it. Drinking it up, Mr. Daniel Blood.
Keep clapping.
Standing ovation. Feels good.
Defeated.
One of the.
I feel hoodwinked. Because I could have been prepped. I could have had stuff for. I feel hoodwinked.
That's against the
You were
rules.
hoisted by your own petard,
I thought it was.
Boston.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
you got
written in
outplayed.
text.
Kyle,
You can't troll Damiani.
Yeah. When will you learn? You tried to out-troll the troll.
you can't prepare against hard truth.
I think there's nothing I could have done in that cross section, really.
Wow, I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
Literally.
What are we at?
All right, so it comes down to the last spot comes between Final Fantasy IX and Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh man.
No, I'm double mad, man.
Do you want to know who got in or who did not make it?
Give us the vote counts.
Okay, so the vote count was one game got 12, the other got 10. I thought maybe the one chip went to one of them, so it would have maybe been like a 1 vote difference, but
Yeah.
it would have been enough to overcome.
I want to know what got in.
Let's go.
Yeah, second
What's
place,
the winner?
baby.
So
Second place.
the second winner, inductee for this Hall of Greats is Super Mario Bros. 3. Oh, they say it was 11 points. So were you lying, Chad?
Mario 3, dude. Yeah, standing over that too. I'll stand it. Oh yeah. One of the all-time.
I'll stand for the frog suit.
And apparently Chad's actually saying the chip was for Final Fantasy 9. It was 11. So it was 12 to 11.
It was 12 to 11.
Wow.
Wait, what did A Link to the Past get?
Yeah.
I think Press got 13.
Yeah.
So I gave
was so
Super
close.
Mario Brothers 3 my 2 points. So if I hadn't done that,
Yeah.
it would, yeah.
So it was 13, 12, and 11. That was the first, second, and third place finish.
Wow.
I'll put
Wow.
that back in.
That's a
Final
record.
Fantasy
That is
9.
historic, dude. That's crazy. Chat, were you going nuts?
Those are 2 good video games, though. Oh man, those are 2 really good games.
Thing is, when
Mario
9
Zelda.
gets in, it's going to open so many doors. Probably to like Mega Man Legends, right? Like, we gotta get 9 in first.
Dude, I'm seeing Final Fantasy 7
Yeah,
when 9
exactly.
gets in.
Yes, I know, dude. It's going to open doors.
We were close.
Let
We were
Cloud
close.
in.
We were
I
close.
want him in.
A Link to the Past sets us back. Now we gotta get all these Super Nintendo games in. Oh man, I'm mad. we just got set back 2 years.
Gets a game in and is pissed.
Yeah. I received no votes
For arguably one of the best games of all time.
Wins is
enough.
furious.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody, for voting for Mario 3. Appreciate it.
And chat has reaffirmed the order and stuff.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you,
You are
Chad.
a rock.
And thank you, Butterfingers Damiani for just the tension,
Yeah,
the unnecessary tension.
I was like, I dropped one from 2. Then I'm like, I didn't hear a second one drop. That's
The security of the park is in your hands, and you've
Yeah,
got
Butterfingers.
Butterfingers.
Surprisingly savage from Jones. Dude.
well, part of the issue is I couldn't. Put
It was
them on
like
the
a nice calm
I
savage.
couldn't put them on the table like normal chat
savage.
because they would have all seen me coming.
Papa Savage!
I can't tell you votes.
gotta
I
get,
didn't
like, a
hear
curtain
anybody's
here.
presentation.
Dude, Papa Savage will destroy you in
We'll have to
GoldenEye.
get like a curtain. next
Are
time.
you happy with
Would
the
you have voted
curtain?
for Dark Souls?
So I could count them normally
I
instead
might
of like
have.
on the floor.
Like,
Wow, sounds like Blood is pretty easily swayed.
I mean, the blood even seems.
Sounds like he's really just waiting
Yeah,
for that
no.
presentation.
I'm positive Blood would have done 3 for Link to the Past.
Like I gotta be honest, and maybe this is just
I'm
me.
not.
Maybe it's just me being just terrible about the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you had played Garnet's theme on the flute for 5 minutes, I would have given 3 votes to Final Fantasy IX. Like there's just
what?
no, like,
Oh, like presentation.
Blood
Yeah.
tried the music-only presentation and it backfired.
Yeah, he got buried.
Yes.
Banned.
I mean, it was. I came in and was like 1, 2, 3 for 9. Okay, what else is going on here? So it's a mix.
Wait, you gave
but
3
I
to
did.
9?
But I gave 3 to
PT's
9.
totally allowed.
And but my 1 vote went to Link to
Got
the
it.
Past, which I've never played. Because I just and the music stuff really swayed me. Like hearing Zelda's theme for the first time and
Link to the Past
a
is
lot of
good,
that stuff. Yeah, I just think that's so
Don't let
impactful.
Kyle be a weirdo toward you.
I dare you.
And the way they
I
represent
dare you to
floors
play
and
that game.
dungeons is brilliant.
It's not.
It's so wonderful.
I'll show you.
I want to see. I really want to see.
Okay. All right.
Kyle brings Link to the Past to we can't anymore because it's in. But
Yeah.
it'd be great if you brought Hall of Grace and just ragged on it the entire time.
Tried to
And we all
bury
voted for it.
And then we all put it in.
Damiani did that with Skyrim.
I forgot. Brian just ragged on it.
yeah, I mean, like the only thing I could say for sure is I probably wouldn't have voted for Sekiro at all. At this point.
Amen, sister.
Yeah,
Like-
but that's the thing. Me, I would not have either. Huber's presentation
Yeah,
moved
presentation
me, man.
was good.
You
That-
voted for it? Yeah.
really good.
You didn't even
Wow.
play it.
I know. He moved me.
You are a bad person.
He talked about dopamines. He just like
That was a
No,
level.
it was a good presentation. It
Huber,
really
honestly, that was a level of intensity that scared me a little bit.
It was a very intense.
I was very close to you, and I could feel the heat.
I had
Like,
to go to that place.
was
Wow.
good.
Your
It
skin
was
got
really good.
warmer.
I
Yeah.
had to go to the place.
It was good.
That's what I got to do.
That was a very like
365
that was
days
like
from now, I gotta
that was
bring
like
that golden eye
very
in.
sick moment. I thought of the final boss when I was doing my presentation. You just pictured it.
Someday
So
Final
good.
Fantasy IX will be in
That
that
came
hall.
through.
Do we want to update people on It's Easy Like Anime? Because that's also
right,
happening tonight in the schedule.
That's gonna probably be. It's definitely not happening 9:30. It'll just be later.
Okay.
oh, later in the week, not having
tonight.
Oh,
So wait,
later
why,
tonight.
why are you dismissing a game just because it's new?
Oh,
Do you
God.
really think
Get
a new
into it,
game
bud.
can't be a great? Is that really where your mind is immediately?
I mean, number one, I haven't played it. Number two,
That's not a factor. That should not be a factor. Jones.
I mean,
Jones-
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, like, yeah, it definitely needs time to settle, for thoughts to settle, for you to think about it.
Huber? All right.
When you're comparing it to
Blood
everything
is,
else,
Blood
that,
is
like,
wise. I see your point.
I didn't give it a point. And I love that game. But I think the odds were just stacked against it this time.
Yeah.
Got it.
Brad, I gotta know why you
That-
gave nothing to Dark Souls then.
Yeah, what happened,
I like
Brad?
Sekiro more than Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, me
Whoa.
too.
My
Yeah,
God.
that's right, chat. You heard it.
So like you
with
voted
you,
for
man.
3 games
There
above
are
those
two Zelda games on that list, man.
I get you.
We couldn't have voted for
Dude,
Dude,
Twilight,
I
though.
did. I did Link to the Past,
Yeah.
Super Mario 3, and Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah, I get it.
All incredible
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what could I do, man?
Can we say what everybody gave to votes? Is that allowed?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah,
I mean, they
chat
saw
knows.
it.
Yeah.
I did 3.
I don't know.
I did
Yeah.
3 to Twilight Princess, 2 to Link to the Past, and 1 to Mario.
I did 3 to
I love
Mario,
Twilight Princess.
2 to Twilight, 1 to Link to the Past.
My 2 went to Super Mario Bros. 3. That game is insane.
Yeah,
Game
it's
is-
like Kyle just
is
brings out the
best,
big gun,
is
the
the best
BFG.
NES game. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, what am I supposed to do?
yeah.
Yeah, I think that, like when I was thinking about it like a month ago, it's like that has to get out of the way. That
I'm
one's
yes.
gotta- yeah.
That's. I feel good now knowing
Yeah.
that it's like all right.
Yeah, we got
So wait, yeah, Dark Souls is not a 10?
I did
No, it never has been.
I did a
I don't
Link
think
to
Bloodborne?
none of the Souls games are 10s to me.
They're,
They're incredible. They're very. Some of them are
what
very
is a
close.
10 to you then?
I don't know if I have one off the top of my head that I can
Okay,
name.
as long as you don't have anything before those. It's okay. Yeah.
I'm shook right now.
I'm shook. I'm shaking.
Like, I love
Bloodborne
those
is
games.
an unequivocal 10.
I love
in
those
my
games,
book.
but there's problems for me in those games. But I really love
Name
those games.
5 problems.
I
feel like this has
asked you
already
like 6
happened.
questions about Dark Souls.
I know.
You asked like all the questions, Brad. I appreciated that.
Kyle,
Yeah.
what did you give Final Fantasy 9?
3.
Kyle, I love you. I want you to know that.
So,
I'm
Ben,
not really upset.
what we need is someone else to bring it so we get 2 3s.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the yes. Blood.
Hey, I'm gonna just bring strategic games from now on, so
Yes.
I got you.
Strategy games, yes.
I'll bring it next time.
Strategy games, no, that's
I got will give you my 3. Okay, great, you got it.
You should do that same video
1800.
where it's like, Ben says it's good. Kyle
Yeah, Ben
likes
says
the
it's
music. That'd be really
I
funny.
knew that Ben would.
Your presentation was amazing.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Not amazing, no. Ooh, Final Fantasy Tactics is a good game.
Yes. That's the game. I thought about that game, but I'm like, I need to do research on that
Yeah,
game.
deals
I
are
need
not
to play
allowed,
through
so
that
now I
again.
can't bring
Sure.
Final Fantasy 9.
I really liked that your longest paragraph on the piece of paper. You were the furthest from the camera.
Yeah.
It was really
It
good.
was really good.
I liked. What was that little coop you were in?
That's for the dog, Sadie. In
Yeah.
the summer, if people aren't going to be at the house for like a little while.
I love your head was totally covered. Like,
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I'll upload the video eventually.
Woo. Yeah. Anything else you want to update people before we sign off and do other things? Before I have a heart attack. Before I go to bed having dreams of
I mean, there's a lot
Super
of
Mario
stuff
Brothers
going
3.
on.
We talked about some stuff we were doing while we were waiting for Damiani to count blood.
Okay.
So I think we're mostly caught up.
Jones, you and I did a full playthrough of Mario 3 once. You remember that?
I want to do a
really?
Link to the
Yeah.
Past full.
It was
I did a
GT
full
days.
campaign playthrough
you
one
were
time
doing
with
it.
Mike,
It's really
Goldeneye
fun.
with
You
Michael
should do
Huber
it.
that apparently
We
means
did it
nothing.
years ago.
Apparently that was.
like
I love that. Jones,
I guess if you can go back and watch that
yesterday.
stream, you can see Huber not having fun. I don't know. I'm curious what.
my cheek was hovering over
That time
Goldeneye.
we played Goldeneye together and you hated it.
We did
remember?
campaign. We did the
Yeah,
campaign.
yeah.
I feel
You
bad.
had,
Yeah,
no, you
I
had this
feel
whole
bad.
time.
You're
No, you
right.
hated it. You hated it. I dragged you into it,
Sorry.
kicking and screaming the whole time.
There's at least one person in chat remembers.
This happens to Huber every time.
Can I just say
You realize
thank
that.
you to everybody.
When I
really
brought
feel-
Deus
never
Ex,
mind.
it was the same exact
I
thing.
know. Well, everyone brings like these friggin' good games, dude.
I'm ready to be thanked, Ben. Ben, I'm ready.
Try
I'm ready
again,
to be
Ben.
thanked.
No, the gratitude is like draining out of me.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up.
I'll pat myself on the shoulder just in
It's
case.
been sad.
Well, patreon.com/easyallies.
Yeah,
Check
we-
it out.
We do the Hall of Greats every 3 or 4 months.
Quarterly,
Sometimes it'll change.
yeah.
Yeah, we try to do it quarterly. Sometimes, obviously, big events and stuff like that changes. But if you enjoyed this, stick around. Follow us on social media, or follow us obviously here on Twitch.tv/EasyAllies if you want to be around for the next Hall of Greats. But we will announce at least at the beginning of that month on our Tuesday night group stream if Hall of Greats is coming. You can feel the dread. I definitely felt this morning. I was like, okay, I think I got things handled. And I was like, oh no, I have to talk about Golden Arrow for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Ugh. This time I was more nervous about the actual talking than the. Kudos to anybody who writes a script, man. That's awesome. I definitely just had a bunch of notes. I listed how many weapons were in it. I didn't even get to that. But we are Easy Allies. We have a Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/EasyAllies, you can see all sorts of ways you can financially support us. Like Kyle was saying, our community showcase is a $10 level if you want to be a part of the showcase. Check it out on Thursday if you think it's neat and you want to say something that we talk about, or you want to give us a piece of art or music or video or a screenshot or a photograph. We would love that to be a part of it.
We should probably put a post up about this because I keep seeing it happening.
Uh-huh.
Something has happened with the RSS feeds for early access people so that they're not updating correctly. So what you want to do if you're on the $5 tier and you're looking for that RSS feed, just go back to Patreon and go on a browser, not the app because the app doesn't have everything, and go to the overview tab, and on the right you'll find your link for the RSS feed. And then you can grab it and re-add it because it's like the ones that people got emailed, if they stopped updating or something. Something weird's going on with it.
I mean, they changed the website, so I wonder if that's just a weird carryover. They
Yeah,
kept it for a couple weeks and then they finally
I think there's a
dropped
different
it.
time though, so I don't know exactly. Maybe.
Who knows?
And I think we'll do Sonic reactions after we close out, right? Because we'll get muted for that.
I don't know if you'll get muted, but it could be weird.
I spoiled it?
I was gonna go. We were gonna say anything. I was just gonna go to end music, and while we were muted, I was gonna ask who hasn't seen it. Sit on the couch with me.
Gotcha.
And when music was done, I was just gonna go live with it.
All right.
I can still do it, but now they know.
I'm sorry.
I'm stoked
Okay.
for it.
Check out our website too, easyallies.com. We got all of the videos posted on there, our schedules, and we got forums. You can go there and chat with people.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And
There's
the
even a thread
reviews.
about
Check it out.
Hall of Greats.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
The reviews you can sort by score, so if you want to see the lowest thing we've ever scored so far,
And
What's
if
the
you-
lowest?
Yeah.
Umbrella Core.
Umbrella Core.
Wait, what did you give that?
Hall of
Half?
Grades, go to hallofgrades.com. That links to a post in the forum.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, that's easier, right?
We could take
Oh,
the
no.
those images though and put them on, or I think they put them in that forum post. So yeah.
One last question. I was scared that my presentation was going to backfire and that people would be grossed out by Mario 3. Did that anybody have that feeling?
Oh no, I
Yeah,
want to play it right now.
I voted 3 for Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah.
2 for Wave Race 64.
Damiani, I love you.
1 for Twilight Princess. And I was like that one chip. I was like going back and forth. Like I know Super Mario 3 is a great game.
Yeah.
But like, and Kyle had a good presentation for what he talked about. But I was like, you didn't talk about enough.
Okay.
Kyle, to me, it
Yeah.
felt like your way of loving the game. That's what it felt like
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were really excited about a room that has 3 treasure chests that you don't know what are in them, but other than that,
Gotcha.
that was a really good presentation.
Question: I'm not going to do this, but
Yeah.
could someone bring? Since I brought remastered, could someone bring Dark Souls non-remastered?
Yes.
I would say yes.
Well, that would instantly get in, so I don't know if that's fair.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
Further
we're at it First
question?
time I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Kyle Chat's correcting me. Apparently, I did say your presentation annoyed me.
Best correction.
That's a big difference.
Best correction. Best correction.
But yeah, that's all the greats. We're Easy Allies. Thanks everybody for bringing presentations tonight. Thank you all for your wonderful votes. Thank you, Chad, for not spoiling stuff for us. And we will be back later on. Check out youtube.com/EasyAllies. We do shows and reviews and all sorts of other crazy stuff. So check that out throughout the week. But if you just like these Tuesday night group streams, we'll be back next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, with
And
another
congrats to Link to the Past and Super
Link to the
Mario
Past,
Bros.
Super Mario Bros. 3. Thanks for watching, everybody.